Welcome back to the Average Reviews, where we break down movies using our unique scoring system because it's not just about good or bad, it's about what makes a film the experience that it is and where it lands. I'm Tim.
And I'm Jonathan. And today we're stepping out of the shadows of horror and 80s nostalgia and flying straight into something bigger than all of us. We're talking Superman 2025 and trying to figure out if this new DC reboot has what it takes to bring the Man of Steel back to greatness.
And joining us today, we have two good friends of ours, returning guest Kevin Davis. You know him from the Prom Queen episode. Kevin, welcome back.
Glad to be here.
And then we have Adam from our Thunderbolts episode is also here. Adam.
It's a pleasure as always.
Yeah.
And they are here to help. They are back to help us truth, justice, and average our way through this movie. And hopefully, if you're watching this live, you're jumping into the conversation too. Drop your scores in the comments using our scorecard system. The link's in our bio on Instagram, because your opinion helps us build a better average.
Now, before we dive into the cape and CGI of it all, let's rewind a little bit here. For us, and for a lot of people our age, the superhero magic really hit in the 1990s. Saturday mornings were ruled by legends. Batman the Animated Series, Justice League, Spider-Man, X-Men, and yes, Superman the Animated Series. It wasn't just colorful cartoons. These were stories that respected their audience and their source material.
Exactly. And those stories were built on decades of comic book history. Comics that led to legendary sagas like Batman's Nightfall, X-Men's Days of Future Past, and maybe one of the biggest comic book events of all time, the death of Superman. If you were a kid back then, Superman was everywhere. Comics, TV, action figures, and most of all, he meant something.
The movies played a big part in that too. You had Christopher Reeve and the Donner-directed Superman, Burton's Batman, and it felt like superheroes were real-life legends.
Then in the early 2000s, the X-Men films came along and they grayed everything out, lost a little bit of the optimism, but they were still wildly successful.
And you can't forget Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. The second one remains one of the greatest superhero films ever made.
I will die on that hill. From there, Marvel found its footing with Iron Man and turned that success into a chokehold over a decade of interconnected, fun-filled storytelling that had us all on the edge of our seats.
Meanwhile, DC tried to play catch-up. They had a massive hit with The Dark Knight, sure, but it wasn't a shared universe. Then came Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, darker, grittier, and to some, just awful.
Others loved it. It felt fresh, mature, and Henry Cavill was the living embodiment of the hero in the cape.
But none of those films captured that Marvel popcorn magic. Without that, the DCU floundered. A passionate fan campaign forced Warner to release the Snyder Cut of Justice League, which this show covered way back before my time, but that was it.
Yeah, you can find that episode way back in season 1. I think it was the third episode we'd ever done. But then Warner Brothers hired James Gunn to rebuild it all.
Only he's stepping into a battlefield. Even Marvel is now struggling at the box office with mixed reviews and dwindling returns.
Some people argue it's because these movies have drifted too far from the classic comic book arcs that fans grew up loving, favoring newer characters and experimental tones over the tried and true.
Others say it's because they've gone woke, whatever that means. Either way, the audience is clearly divided.
But here's the thing. 3 of Marvel's most successful and beloved films came from James Gunn. Guardians of the Galaxy took a virtually unknown ragtag group of space misfits and turned them into household names. He brought humor, heart, and style, and somehow made us cry about a talking tree.
Now, he's been handed the keys to the DCU, and while Gunn's career has been without controversy, he's been slowly, methodically rebuilding a cinematic universe that's been, let's be honest, shaky at best.
And with the current state of superhero cinema, it is an uphill battle. Marvel isn't dominating like it used to, and DC hasn't had a true win in years. Audiences are skeptical, they are tired, and they are way less forgiving.
So that leads to the real question. Are we dealing with superhero fatigue, or are we just sick of badly written movies?
Because maybe it's not that we don't want superheroes anymore. It's just that we want them to be good.
And this summer, this movie might be a make or break moment for whether this genre gets to fly again or crashes for good.
So let's talk about it. Let's score it and let's figure it out together, see where it really lands.
Because this is The Average, where the real review happens with your friends.
All right, gentlemen. We're in.
Boosh.
Is there a person who wants to go first in this? Dive into this?
I would like to start. I would like to start with the marketing campaign if we can start before the movie.
The marketing will be the cultural significance. We can really hammer that home later because I know you have thoughts on that. I do too.
Yes.
Let's kick it off with the story.
I'd be glad to jump in then. So, man, after what I was seeing media-wise before this, I was very apprehensive about what we were going to get. I saw the guy and David Corenswet that plays Superman. I looked at him and I was like, I don't know. That just visually, I wasn't sure if that was really a Superman fit for me. But after all the different iterations we've seen, especially some of the TV versions, it's kind of whatever. But dude filled the role. And with what we got, I was just way impressed with what was delivered on this film as far as story goes. I like the fact that you don't have to go through all of the early parts of Clark Kent and Superman and how it all comes to be. They kind of just establish, hey, here's what's going on. This is already set in stone. We already know this. Here's the details. Now here's what's really going on right now. And I like the fact that they really dug in with the whole thing between Lex Luthor and Superman and the contention between the two of them, like they did in the comic books. They really hammered into the story with this one. So with everything already kind of being pre-established at the start and then getting to dive into what's going on for the time, man, I thought it rocked. This is a great story. The mannerisms, I don't want to get into any other details before we get to the rest of the categories, but yeah, I was really happy with this story. I couldn't believe it. By the time the film was done, I was like, man, this was so much better than I ever thought it was going to be, and it was incredible.
So we should probably warn. I think we're probably going to go spoilers. I don't know how we can necessarily avoid spoilers with this one. There's just so much to talk about.
I was trying to avoid really saying too much, but if we're just going to go for it, then okay.
Yeah, I think let's preface that early. We normally do not like to do spoilers if the movie is in theaters when we record, but there's so much of this, the trailers that we saw for this movie were done in the first hour, basically. Most of what we saw was gone in the first hour. So yes, I know there are some clips here and there, but majority of what we saw is the beginning of the movie. So it's really hard to talk about everything that happens and avoid any kind of spoiler. So it's going to happen. If you're wondering at the end of this if we're going to tell you to go see it or not, the answer is yes, and then come and listen. So if you're worried about that, go watch it and then come back. Otherwise, stick around, but there will be spoilers.
Yeah.
All right, Adam, go.
Yeah, to kind of jump off of what Jonathan was saying there, I'm really happy that this isn't an origin story. I love the character of Superman, but I hate his origin. I think Krypton is so lame and boring, and I know people are going to be so mad in the comments, but I hate Krypton so much. I hate that planet. I hate everything to do with it. I want nothing to do with that garbage. Superman is man of Kansas and Metropolis. That's all I want, and I'm so happy that this movie shows us Superman and not really Kal-El, but it doesn't ignore the Kal-El history of it, and I think the Gunn found a really good balance in doing that and giving us, here's your hero, here's everything that you want, but we're not going to bog it down with crystals and space godfather and all that. So.
Yep. Kevin, go for it.
First, I don't consider myself as a big Superman fan because my time with Superman was Smallville. That's how I started.
Great show.
Great. Still never seen it.
Wow. I haven't like read any of the comics. Like I researched it, but I haven't fully read them.
Hmm.
So my start was in Smallville and Superman and Lois uh, era.
Yep.
And of course I love the Cavell version. Um, so when this came out about I didn't know who the hell David was. If I'm gonna be honest, I was like, who the hell is David?
Twisters.
Wait, I'm like corn syrup? Corn syrup? What?
He's the guy that Pearl got obsessed with in the X prequel. That's the
Yep.
only thing I knew him from.
Those are the only two I've seen him in:
Oh,
Pearl, the movie Pearl, and Twisters.
dude,
He was so good in Twisters.
He was.
I
That's
haven't seen that one, so I have
dude.
no
I
idea
s-
for either of those.
yeah,
films.
I saw Twisters. I didn't even recognize that was David, by the way.
Yeah. Yep.
But I legit just saw this movie yesterday, and I must say I was very impressed with this performance as Superman.
Hmm.
And what really it really got me when when they talked about the glasses. I'm like, I always wonder how the hell does that knight recognize him with the glasses without the glasses? And then as a
It's
person,
nice that they finally gave an on-screen explanation.
yeah, so I was not expecting that. That cracked me up. I was like, they actually explained that in the freaking movie. Like, what the hell?
So that's actually
Uh,
really funny because that is a deep reference to some
Yeah.
Silver Age comic
Oh wow.
jokes that in the Silver
Wow.
Age they had him wearing those glasses, and they don't acknowledge it anymore. It's kind of retconned, if you will.
Okay.
I like that his hairstyle was very different when he was Clark.
Mm.
That was a
Yeah,
nice.
I
That was
noticed
a
that
nice
too.
change. That was a nice change.
because-
But when they brought up the glasses, James does this a lot in his script, and I was going to bring it up. He plugs those in, and he doesn't tell you for sure if that is actually fact or speculation. And this happens a
for all
couple
we
times.
know, that could just be Guy Gardner being a
Yes,
conspiracy nut or something.
yes, it's Guy Gardner being Guy Gardner, and
Yeah.
like Lois didn't. She was just like, okay, and moved on. So that you brought that up, but yeah, I love that he put that in there because that is a deep
Yeah.
comic book reference. But go ahead.
And I love the Lois performance. I think she was like the strongest performance I've seen in film.
Best Lois Lane
Uh,
we've ever had. I
like-
loved Rachel Brosnahan in this.
Yeah,
Yep.
she
She
was
was great.
spot. I'm like she was spot on, and I absolutely love her performance. Like I'm a dog person, so I love Crypto. I mean, I got it. I was like, some people hate him. I'm a dog person, so I enjoy Crypto.
I have thoughts on crypto.
Nicholas
too.
Nicholas Holt as Lex. Dude, that dude is badass. He does not miss. He takes his job serious. He was pretty.
He was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing that I really loved about this story, Adam kind of chimed in. I don't need the origin story, and I've seen a lot of people say. Since I've seen it, I've been reading more of the complaints online.
Mhm.
Most of the haters that I've seen haven't watched the movie, or they're hating on it because they're Snyder Bros. And I love all of the Snyder movies. I'm going to tell you that right now. I love Man of Steel. Batman vs Superman, the director's cut, is a fantastic film,
Yeah.
and Snyder's Justice League is epic. It is insanely good. I love all of those, and Cavill is my Superman. He's still my Superman.
Mhm.
But that doesn't mean I can't enjoy this movie. The fact that you think the two cannot coexist is insane to me. So one of the things that I like is that we don't get another origin. We're not rehashing that. We have the Reeves movies. We have the Cavill movies. We have so much Superman lore from Smallville, which was a 10-season origin story.
That's
For
why I never watched it.
For better
Yeah,
or worse.
it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. It's
For
10
better or
full
worse,
seasons,
it's
yeah.
still a great nostalgic watch. My wife and I
Oh,
went
yeah.
back to watch the first episode, and the CGI looks like a PS1 video game. But
No joke.
rough.
He's not lying. It really does.
Yeah, back in the day, back when Netflix still did like DVDs through the mail, I had planned on getting Smallville, and I was going to get one disc a week, and I broke down the math to see how long it would take me to watch it, and then I was like, is this worth it? So I Googled, when does he put on the suit? And I saw when he puts it on for the first time, and I said, I'm not going to do this. I'm good.
Yeah.
Season 10, final episode,
Yeah,
and
no, I'm good.
And-
I'm good.
And it's 20-some episodes, an hour long, too.
yes,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's 22 episodes. It's 220 episodes roughly.
Yeah.
But we have all of this origin already. We don't need to know exactly what this origin is. We have the idea. And so I've seen a lot of complaints about you're just thrown into the middle of it. I'm like, yeah, we know who Superman is. It doesn't really bother me. Like, we're
That's
good.
the point. He's been around for almost 100 years. We get it. Let me see him do something now.
Exactly. I don't need the origin story to set up. I like that superheroes are established in this world. And the thing that I'm going to brag about on this story that I love is it is set up like a comic book.
Yeah.
We have
it was.
we have
Too much so for some people, it seems.
for some people, I agree. It's a detriment to some, but I, as a comic book fan, love. So comic books are typically set up in your single issue that make up a larger arc. So it's usually, it could be anywhere from 4 to 12 that are telling a consistent story. And even those are interconnected from one set to another. But
as a comic writer, he's not lying. So,
but as
yeah.
in those stories, you get one chapter at a time, and they always have some kind of big moment in them. So you start this movie with the hook of Superman being broken, and then you have that fight with the Hammer of Baravia, which didn't bother me once we find out what's actually going on.
It was a very Lex Luthor plan.
Yeah.
It felt really true to him.
So imagine we're getting this comic book and you're opening it with a beaten and bloody Superman for the first time. And you're kind of like, okay, what got him in this position? And then that chapter closes with a hint of what's going on. Hey, Lex is behind it. And then we go to the next chapter and it's more personal with him and Lois. And then that giant kaiju that you're wondering, how the hell are we going to get this giant kaiju in this movie to make sense? And then in very comic book fashion, say issue 3, you have on the cover Superman fighting a giant kaiju, and you're wondering, how does that fit with the Hammer of Baravia? And if you read issue 1, 2, and 3, at the end of issue 2, Lex brought out this little alien guy, and by issue 3, he's grown. And so it all fits, even to the way that we have Green Lantern appearing. It is a very natural comic book setup. They exist. They're going to cross paths. I don't need to know that much about Guy Gardner to know how he affects this story. I don't need to know that much about Mr. Terrific, which I was trying to figure out. I was nervous about Mr. Terrific because he is a tank in the books. He's massive. And I was like, this guy's kind of scrawny. Let's see how it goes. I loved him by the end of it. It didn't bother me whatsoever. I was like, he is awesome.
The biggest surprise in the movie for me was Mr. Terrific. Because my thing, so playing off of what you were saying about the comic books, for me, my experience reading comics, I've never picked up a comic book line and read through. Because I didn't grow up with a proper comic book store in my town. A lot of the places where I got comic books were school libraries or the public library. And when you walk in there, it is not a high probability that you're going to find a complete series. You're going to find issue number 4 and issue number 7 and issue number 13, and you can pick them up and read them, and you have to start getting context clues to go through. And that's just been my experience with comics. So diving into this movie, this feels like the third movie in a trilogy, but I get it. I can discern the rest of it. My fears going into it were, is this going to be too comic booky? Is it going to be too lighthearted? Is Gunn cutting too deep? Mr. Terrific is a great example of that. I don't know what the hell Mr. Terrific is. I had never heard of this guy. I've never seen him in any of the cartoons. I've never seen him in any other show, never a movie. A name like Mr. Terrific, look, I may be the biggest Mr. Fantastic fan in the world, but Mr. Terrific just sounds silly. But man, amazing character. Great performance.
Yeah, the only time I've actually seen Mr. Terrific was in the Arrow CW show.
Yeah, I
But
quit on Arrow before. I
yeah,
didn't even finish
but
season 1. I hated it so much.
damn,
I made it
that's
to
fair.
like season 5.
Uh, I saw everything. I made it to the final season. But in the Arrow, the Mr. Terrific, I wasn't really that impressed. He was just a nerdy like tech guy. I was like, I didn't
Mm.
really. But seeing him in this Superman movie, I was like, so that's the real Mr. Terrific, because this dude was not like this in the Arrow show. I'm like, what the fuck did they do in CW? Because I'm like, because this fool was boring as fuck. Like, what
Yep.
the, but
He's
excuse my language, but Jesus.
beat, beat
But
you.
in the Superman movie, I was like, can we get him a solo movie? Because Jesus Christ,
Yeah,
or
I would
like,
love to see more
wow,
from him.
Yeah,
like
he
I need
is.
more of him. Like this was awesome.
So he's kind of a super intelligent being who, like, there's nothing alien about him. He's kind of a tech bro, but super intelligent. He runs a tech company. He builds those little spheres that you saw. That's all his technology. We kind of saw him using his
His
brain.
T-balls.
Yeah.
Mm.
Or
His
he calls it
terrific balls.
his circles. His circles. Circles are flat.
Yeah, I'm like learning
But
about that in the movie. I'm like, he's a tech owner, but in the show, he was like a tech. I don't remember what the hell he was. That's how forgettable he was in the Arrow show.
That's
I
why.
don't even.
yeah,
That's why I never watched the shows. The
Like,
shows always just felt like people in cosplay. This
yeah,
it
feels
re-
like the real
yeah,
guy.
it really was because I watched every single show, unfortunately. Um, so yeah, it really felt like cosplay in the Arrow show, like with their costumes. With sorry, going off
Mhm.
topic, but it did. Yeah, it felt like a cosplay in the Arrow show at times.
yeah. But one of the things, even if we were to go back to comics, and the death of Superman story took place predominantly in the Superman books, but there is an entire issue there where Doomsday demolishes the Justice League before Superman even arrives, and that takes place in a Superman book. And that
Wow.
is kind of how I feel about this film. It is a Superman film, but these other characters impact the story and the plot in a way that you don't need to know who
Yeah.
Hawkgirl is to appreciate her role in this film. And
And you're not
I
gonna know who she is by the end of the movie either.
no,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
you
just
know.
like, hey, she's kind of cool. It didn't bother me at all. The whole idea of this like paid justice gang is kind of an interesting idea that I'm sure we're going to see played out more, possibly in the Green Lanterns TV series, possibly in the Peacemaker series, which is next.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh yeah.
there's all of that, and none of it feels. I mean, it's assuming you know a lot, but if you don't, you can still enjoy it. You don't have to know all of it. You just got to sit back and be like, I'm focused on these 2 hours, and that's it. And I think that's a difficult thing to do. I think kind of Batman vs Superman, Dawn of Justice tried to do that, assuming the audience knew more than it did, but at that time they really didn't, and they weren't ready for that.
The irony of that, Tim, is I think this movie requires you to know even more,
yeah,
but it's more accessible than
it is.
Dawn of Justice.
Yes, I would absolutely agree with that. Absolutely agree with that statement.
Well,
but
oh, sorry.
Is as far as the story goes for this iteration, though, just the layers of conspiracy and like everyone coming down and just like him being such a good guy and so viewed so positively for so long, and then this conspiracy to tear him down and make him seem like the bad guy, and like his own idea that he had this thought that his parents set them there for good, and only come to find out, no, you're supposed to be there to dominate them. You know, it's got kind of like the Invincible Omni-Man kind of thing going there a little bit, you know? And so like having to struggle with that mentality of like, oh, this is what I was really supposed to be here for. But then deciding, no, this is what I want to be for, is that. And then defeating all these underlying sets of conspiracies against him. And then also Lex Luthor's, his own plans that he has for other stuff outside of his hate of Superman and all of, you know, the other metahumans that are involved in this universe. You know, it's, oh man, it's just crazy, dude.
So
how did you guys feel about the message from his parents, basically sending him there to dominate the planet. Because that's something that when I saw that in the movie, I kind of took a step back. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, are we villainizing his Kryptonian parents? That's something I've never seen before.
Right.
But I learned in the last couple of days that that has been in the comics before. So it's not
really?
a James Gunn
Yes.
creation, but it still kind of took me. And I was wondering, how do you guys feel about that?
Yeah. So that is
Yeah,
something it doesn't bother me because, like you said, it has happened in the comics. John Byrne's run in the late 80s really downplayed the Kryptonian heritage. It wasn't villainous so much as it wasn't important because he was raised by Martha and why am I John?
No.
Jonathan Kent.
He was raised by Jonathan Kent and Martha, and those were his parents. And it kind of like, yeah, he's from Krypton, but he was raised on Earth as a human. You know, so
in John Byrne's run, he was even born on Earth. I remember hearing John Byrne, for whatever reason, decided he wanted to change the history to get rid of the immigrant thing. Which it's ironic that seems to be a talking point with this movie, is the whole immigration thing. Which neither here nor there on real world politics. I think it's kind of unnecessary to talk about that with this movie. But bringing up John Byrne, he apparently did want to make Superman a natural born citizen. So I remember in that run, when the pod landed, Clark wasn't physically born until it touched like Kansas soil. Yeah. So,
I haven't even gone back that far to read that, but
that's
things like that have happened. There's Superman Red Sun, where he was raised in Russia and becomes, there's all kinds of villainous takes on Superman. It doesn't bother me. And this goes back to what I was saying when Kevin brought up, they never clarify if that was doctored by the engineer or not. All we have to
I don't believe it was.
All we have to take is Lex's word for it.
Yeah,
they leave it open. All we have to take is Lex's word for it. But at that point, Lex has also been shown to be dishonest.
Well, Mr. Terrific also commented, though, that the people who verified the study would
it. So
he does.
There's established legitimacy in the story.
Yeah, they technically did confirm it was real. Yeah, they technically did confirm it was real. So
nope, you're right. I totally forgot about that. But it doesn't bother me because you know why? That final scene where the robot, where number 4 is like, want to show the video of his parents, and then we get video of him growing up. That hit. That hit.
Oh, there's a lot of good feels. There's a lot of good feel moments in this movie, man.
Yep. And Superman just laying there smiling. That was fantastic.
That was so beautiful. Oh my
there's a lot in this story. I do think we mentioned a little bit about there's a lot being made of the politics. And so I do kind of want to touch on that for a moment, because Superman being an alien has always been part of the story. That was one of the things that was huge in Man of Steel that I've seen a lot of flack for, but Man of Steel kind of addressed how would humanity address this all-powerful alien existing on Earth. We would not take it well. We would not take it well. Batman's kind of approach of, if we have this all-powerful being who can destroy us, we need to have countermeasures in place. That was that approach. But this one approaches it much more like the comic books. Oh, here, but he's being good. He's being good. That's fine. But to make this a political movie about the immigration is one of those things where I'm like, I think we're seeing it through the lens of what's going on in our own world and not just the story. And the same goes for what is being orchestrated with the two feuding countries. That's happened in comic books before. It didn't bother me in this movie, but they're making it a big deal in articles and stuff online. Like,
yeah, the media is focusing on it, and that's something I was nervous going into the movie because I thought the movie was going to be very political. You know, you heard Sean Gunn talking about the importance of accepting immigrants, and you saw a lot of different articles talking about the conflict of Moravia and whatever the other one was called. They're like, oh, well,
Jaranpur.
it's yeah, Jarhanpur, and it's like, oh, well, that's Russia, Ukraine, or it's Israel and Iran. And then I sit
Yes.
down and I watch the movie, and I'm like, well, I don't know what you guys are seeing here. I'm just seeing Superman, and like none of that. The movie opens the idea of like, is Superman here to be good? But at no point in this movie is Superman an alien, and I think that's a big thing that separates this from Man of Steel. Is Man of Steel is a movie about an alien on Earth.
Yes.
Superman is about a man who happens to be an alien, but that's not important.
Totally
That's why I think
agree.
this movie handles it much, much better. And I like Man of Steel. I love 50% of Man of Steel, and I have mixed feelings on the other half of it. But
Yeah, that's fair.
it's a different take, and I think I like this one more.
Yeah, and I have to. So I bring that up to say, like, if you catch this and your hesitations of seeing this are because you've seen that it's super political and you don't want to go see a political preachy superhero movie, it's not. It's not. It exists in a world where, it exists in a world where things are happening, conflicts are happening in other countries, but it's not preaching at you about what's right or wrong. It is, well, in political stance, it is telling you to be a good person. And that is a great message always. So that's all I want to touch on that a little bit, because I did not think this movie was ever preaching at me. I've heard, I'm pretty good friends with the comic book store owners in my old town, and we were texting about the movie, and she said people are saying they won't go see it because it has an agenda. And I'm like, there's no the agenda here.
No agenda.
There's no mild relative commentary of like the Israel-Gaza thing going on between like Moravia and like Jahanpur, but it's not quite the same thing, and that's not the focus of the story. There's similarities there. That's not the focus, and I think maybe people are focused on that too much.
And see, that's another thing where I'm like, we're saying that now, but if this same story came out in the 90s, would it have been about Berlin? You know, would it have been about I think it's such a good story element, because 10 years from now it could be about a different conflict and people will see that reflected in it.
There's only a message here if you want there to be a message.
Yes.
Like, it has to be in you.
I think it works really well
for you to see it.
Exactly. You have to be in for it, and it's there. So don't let that dissuade you from seeing the movie, is where I'm getting at with this. So we've spent 33 minutes on the intro and the story. Where do our scores land up on this story?
I'm a 4.
I'm a 4.
I think I cannot. Man, I'm blank. Did I give it a 4 or 5? I think I gave it a 5.
I kind of forgot what I wrote, but I'm saying 4. I forgot what I gave, but good. Yeah.
Right,
I think Kevin, I said 5.
You did say 5, Adam.
Did I give it a 3 or 4? Because I don't remember.
You gave it a 3, Kevin, but I upped you to a 4 if that's what you want.
Yeah, I want to up mine to a 4.
Yeah. Okay.
Talking through everything, I want to up it to a 4 now.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's why we have
I had
these conversations.
To give it a 5 just because when on paper, I can't think of another movie that has been quite like this. Like,
that's fair.
It's unabashedly James Gunn's story. It's not like any other Superman. So as far as originality goes for that, it's high as you can give it.
Yeah,
this is why
that's a good point.
I was just going to say, this is why I like talking to like-minded people, because it helps me. Like, I was by myself watching the movie, so I had a separate thought on it. But actually talking to other people about it and like seeing other people's point of view, I was like, okay, that actually makes more sense then. That's why
you could have soundboard.
That's why I up my to a 4, because listen to like the reasoning of like certain things, and thinking back on people, like I can probably guarantee you that people think it's so political because of that one line, like a split second of that I forgot the dude's name. He said liberals and conservatives can agree on something, and I guess they took that part and said that's not political. I'm like, it's a split second scene, stupid.
Yep.
Like it's 1 second, it's one line, and the line is literally saying that it's not political.
Yes.
the one thing that everyone can agree upon
They just hear,
is
they hear liberal and conservative. I'm saying, it's political,
Yep.
it's woke. I'm like, no, it's not, idiot. Listen to what he said, stupid. Jesus
I also have to say, I thought, man, I'm back on the political side of it again. I loved that this movie shows that, spoiler alert, the conflict between two other countries is actually organized by the military industrial complex trying to make big bucks and politicals trying to make money moves, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm like that. I can get behind that message. But
Yeah.
anyways,
Another thing I want to add when you talking about the war in the movie, the way I saw it, I think James was saying that it's going to be okay. Just have hope. That's literally how I saw
yeah,
it. Like,
Dude.
despite everything, in spite of everything going on, just have hope. It's going to be okay.
It's
That's
a
how
that
I
kid
felt.
raised the Superman flag.
Yeah, that's legit how I felt. Like, it wasn't political.
oh, crying.
Because that's what Superman's supposed to be. That symbol.
Bro,
That's it.
Seeing that kid I'm not gonna lie, I was in my emotions. I'm like, please don't kill this kid. Please don't kill this kid. Please don't kill this kid.
I know. So
you know, it's brutal killing. So I'm like, please don't kill this kid. Please don't kill this kid.
Yep. Let's jump into the character. We're
awesome.
pretty unanimous on story. Jumping into the character here. How compelling is this character arc? So we kind of touched on the story that we find out here in this version that Superman was sent to Earth to conquer it, have as many wives as possible, and reproduce. And, you know, the Invincible Omni-Man story, which many say has also been borrowed from other versions of Superman. So it is that, I think it's that question everybody always has about Superman. So we have that, and Clark dealing with kind of, I thought they handled it really well. I can't remember the exact line, but what his dad says, it's about your actions and who you choose to be every day that makes you who you are. Not who you were born to be, you know, not your birthright. It is what you wake up every day and choose. And I was like, they handled it very delicately and very well. And Jonathan Kent was kind of mild in this movie.
I like that.
But
Yeah.
he hit me because he's like, he was a Kansas farmer. I have some farmer friends. He was a good dude.
Yeah,
I really liked that scene between the two of them, but I will say, as far as a character arc for Superman, I don't think he has an arc. I think he starts the movie good. He gets kind of down because he loses some confidence in himself, but ends the movie reassured that he's good. And I didn't need some big change for him. I need to know Superman. So as far as an arc, the movie doesn't really have one. But as far as nailing the character, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect Superman.
See, I think that I put that kind of breaking him down in the center, losing that confidence as his arc, where it's not necessarily he's questioning if he's good. It is, he's reassuring himself, and he has to go on this little bit of a journey. So I understand what you're saying, but I also think that works for him. This is the one that I do see a lot of. The other characters kind of support the story.
Well, it's okay. That's kind of what they're there for.
But it's the story of Superman. So
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
Arc-wise, though,
except Lois Lane, who makes the movie 1,000 times better because she was perfect. And
I
was just gonna say, Lois Lane, dude.
Yes. Yes.
And it's so refreshing because I hated Amy Adams, Lois Lane.
Thank you.
Like I like Amy Adams as an actor.
Yeah.
But her Lois Lane, fucking hate that character. She was so annoying. Now I have a Lois Lane that not only is she a great character, she is perfectly spunky. She has a kick to her. She has everything that was great about Margot Kidder's Reporter.
Yes.
But Rachel Brosnahan is bringing that youthful energy to it. And I mean, my God, she is pleasant on the eyes.
Yeah, she is. She is definitely
seriously, if you want to call the next movie Lois Lane featuring a cameo by man, you got my.
I'm so,
You'll still sell tickets.
I'm so,
But that's the great
Yes.
thing with her in this movie, though, and the way she portrays the character is like you get that glimpse of the kind of like the early parts of Superman / Clark Kent and Lois's relationship, and how they have to divide that in the office with him as Clark Kent, and then when they're alone with him as Superman, and
Yes.
the different aspects, the way she grills him with that interview, the way he gets all frustrated, and that's all being part of that relationship process of being questioned by the other person that is supposed to help you make you better, and then finally coming to terms with like, okay, this isn't something where maybe it might work, maybe it won't. It's like, no, I love this person. They love each other, and they really solidify the roots in that by the end of the film. And it's like, okay, that's an awesome part of an arc there.
Yeah.
When
also love that we
are talking in the kitchen and she doesn't even look at him and says, I knew this wouldn't work. And Clark just, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Yeah.
And then he just leaves. There's no yelling. There's no fighting. That is the most human moment between both of them. And I think that is so important because obviously Superman exists on this pedestal. We do have to constantly remind ourselves that he's human, like the rest of us.
Yep.
But Lois Lane also has the potential to be such a cold, emotionless reporter character that I think a lot of times writers struggle to remember she's a woman. She's a human being. She has emotion. She has a personality. And in this scene, they perfectly captured not only the character of Clark, not only the character of Superman, not only the character of Lois, but all of that together plus their relationship.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's so well done because you feel in his Clarkness, the humanity side of it, that Lois is, I don't want to say bullying him, but being aggressive and putting him on the spot. And it's one of the moments that I also really appreciate the script for showing he's a young Superman. So he's been around, he's not experienced. Even the whole conflict that he's kind of under getting flack for being involved in is because he acted instinctually to do what he believed was the right thing without realizing the geopolitical ramifications of doing that. And it's one of those things that I'm like, that is a action of a young Superman. And I kind of loved that story. He hasn't realized that he has this world-like status already.
He's doing what all of us would do if we woke up with that power.
Yeah.
We would do what we think is right without taking a step back. Because even when I'm sitting there in the theater and I'm listening to them go back and forth during that interview scene, I agree 100% with both of them.
Yes.
And I'm torn right down the middle. I'm like, yes, stop the war, but also you didn't belong there.
Yeah.
You can't force yourself in. But people were dying. It's like, it doesn't matter. It does, but it doesn't.
Handled it so well. When it comes to character, I gotta change. No, my score's good. My score's where I thought it was.
Oh, are you done talking about character? Because I got more to say.
Go for it.
Arc, man. The bad guy arc. Bad guy arc. You've got Lex Luthor, who thinks he is unfucking touchable, that he is like the smartest person in the world, and he gets his ass handed to him by good investigative reporting, good connections.
Yes.
Jimmy and Lois getting that shit worked out, getting the info and those details. And props to Jimmy for taking it for the team for a crazy hot girl and how that would played out well for them, getting all that info.
He's her
mutant toes. But
my God.
The way they work that out though, and the way they bust him down in like I would hate to be one of those people working in that office with Lex Luthor and his bullshit, because you got that one guy who's like, this isn't a good idea. We need to stop this. We need to do this. And Lex, in all of his hubris and his bullshit and his hate, man, gets just totally effed in the A and totally brought down 10, 15, 20 pegs once he finally gets busted and realizes his shit is done. That is one of the most wonderful parts of any kind of arc in this movie, is seeing him get in just totally effed. Oh, man.
And
were you guys surprised at all to see Lex defeated by the end of the movie? I wasn't. I was almost expecting him to kind of get away
Me too.
with it, so
Or
that
at least
he
get
could,
away and not get caught.
yeah, so that he could be a threat in more movies. But I feel like now that the public knows Lex is an asshole, I kind of feel like we blew our load with Lex Luthor. What are we gonna do? Like, this Lex is never gonna be president now. Not after this.
The president was controversial to begin with. I don't know how well that went. He's even a member of the Justice League temporarily later on. It's just
ew.
And that could be, you could make that work as part of his reform. You know, he went through this and he's come out better. I don't know. It didn't bother me because comic books always defeat the villain and he comes back a year later with a new scheme and everybody's there for it. So I'm just, well, we'll see what happens with the next one.
I just think maybe if they want to do something more with him, they shouldn't have had him publicly defamed. Still defeat him, of course, but maybe I don't know.
This was one that I'm watching Lex and I'm going, he is the villain Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were talking about his weapons. He provides the weapons. He's making money off of this and he's using it for his own gain.
Grab.
Yep, and he's calling it a calling. It is his calling to take out Superman. And I'm sitting there watching Nicholas Hoult, who was fantastic. I'm not going to say he's better than Kevin Spacey, but the dude was chewing it up. He was enjoying his time. And I also, like, I do see a little bit of the, like, he tried out for the role of Superman and lost it. And
wait, what?
Yeah.
And Batman. He auditioned for Batman, too.
Really? I did not know that.
I would not. I don't think I could handle him as a Batman.
I knew about Batman, but I didn't know about Superman.
Yeah, he auditioned for the role of Superman, lost it to Corn Sweat, and was cast as Luthor. And I think there's a little bit. I'm not saying he's envious or jealous of the role, but I think there's a little. He can put a little bit of that in there because the character is very envious of Superman, and that came through very well.
I was actually watching a video just last night where it was Nicholas Hoult and David Cornsweet. They were doing like a lie detector. They were interviewing each other. It's a really funny video. I can't remember like who published it, but I mean, you just find it on YouTube. But in that, when Hoult is connected to the polygraph, Cornsweet asks him, "Is like, since you auditioned for the role but didn't get it, were there any moments when we were acting opposite each other where you thought you could do my role better than me?" And Holt, like, you know, it's a fun video, but Holt was like, yeah, like, absolutely. And Corso was like, good. I would hope you would say that, honestly. But yeah, no, there is absolutely a resentment. And I'll tell you this, I've never seen another Lex Luthor in live action that I believe is going to end up in that mechanical suit to physically fight Superman more than Holt. This guy, I guarantee it. I don't know when. I don't know how many movies got to wait, but I guarantee you we're going to see Nicholas Hoult put on some Iron Man armor with some kryptonite brass knuckles and beat the shit out of this Superman, and I can't wait for that.
It is almost like the Hammer Baravia armor was a trial run of his own suit for the future to see if it could stand up.
I would love to see that, for them to establish that was kind of like an early whatever for him.
That was a teaser.
The other thing, the Hammer Baravia, there was a much ado made about nothing about this Hammer Baravia defeating Superman early. And the other thing I see everybody talk about is Superman being weak in this film. I don't think he's the godlike power of Cavill.
Mm-hmm.
Old Superman never was. If you read this Triangle era omnibus right here, he gets beat up all the time. It's not about Superman being able to just like be a solid rock and people break their hands on him. He gets the better of him taken occasionally. It's about him standing back up and finding a better way to handle the situation.
Yeah.
And that's what this movie does. I thought some of the things they did to fight Superman were things we have never seen. The nanites in his lungs, genius.
Dude, that
so
was
good.
I thought that was super clever. And what does Superman have to do? use his brain to get out of the situation. And I thought that was really clever. It didn't bother me. We saw a lot about Superman bleeding in that opening scene. Big spoiler here, you find out that he's bleeding because he fought himself, basically. It was his own power level dishing it back to him.
More brutish.
That's going to leave him a little bit damaged.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, so
unhinged.
we'll definitely touch on
So it didn't bother
the
me.
weakness of Superman when we start talking about like the marketing of it, because I got something to say on that. But in execution in the movie, I don't think Superman is weak. I think there was some misconception with some of the comments made by the production that this is a Superman that can lose, and people took that as, oh, so he's a weak, bitch Superman. He's not. I mean, anytime he gets defeated in this movie, it's done well, and it only makes me like him more because, like you said, Tim, it's about him getting back up. It's not about. I mean, what did Bruce Wayne's father said it? It's not how hard you fall. It's how many times you get back up, or how you get back up.
Yeah.
Yep.
I will go on record. I was one of those smart amount of people that thought he'll be a bitch Superman. I will at that.
Yeah.
Well, I saw but after seeing the movie and actually seeing that, I'm like, oh, he's fighting his evil twin, who is his power. So this man ain't weak. He's literally fighting himself. I was like, oh shit. Okay, James, keep going. I'm good.
Exactly. There's a lot of clues that James did in that some people could take issue with. The cloned version of Superman is actually Bizarro, and typically funny because he's the total opposite, other than in strength. He's not as handsome. He's kind of got all the same powers, but he can barely speak too. He's just kind of clunky, goofy character. But what we saw was a lot of Ultraman, which I thought they were going to set up. Ultraman is a Superman, an evil Superman from another dimension that basically did what Clark's parents sent him to do in this film. He conquered his world with Wonder Woman at his side, his version of Wonder Woman. And there's an arc. Forever Evil is part of that, but he's an evil Superman. So when we're getting the pocket universe early on, I was like, did he go to this other universe and get Ultraman? And then we find out it's Bizarro. And I was a little bit disappointed because it's kind of a combination of both of those characters that James pulled off. And I'm not sure it's really either of them. So
I'll tell you, the only disappointment I had was when the mask came off and, the hair is in his face. For a brief moment, I thought it was Hayden Christensen. He looked so, and I was like, no fucking way. And then when I realized it was Cornsland, and I'm looking back and forth, and I'm like people talked about how dumb the Clark Kent hair was. Look, apparently if you put a different haircut on David Cornsweet, you transform that man, because he doesn't look the same in Twisters. He doesn't look the same in Pearl. He doesn't look the same as Clark Kent. And that motherfucker was straight up Hayden Christensen when that Ultraman mask came off.
Dude, that's funny because when he pulled a mask off for me, I thought that was Henry Cavill for a second. I was like, wait a minute.
We all thought it was going to be.
And like Henry Cavill.
Did you guys notice they released a image a few weeks ago or a couple months ago of the unmasked Ultraman, but he's like off in the distance. It's shrouded in like darkness. But if you zoom in, did my camera just spin?
Yeah, it just went sideways on itself, bro.
You say
I don't know why.
Tilted.
What is happening?
The screen did an auto.
Hey, you're back.
For some reason. There we
go.
You go.
Okay, I don't know what that was.
The distant.
Yeah, I thought you turned to Ultraman for a second, but
no, but I feel like they did some digital trickery in that photo and made him look more like Lobo to intentionally kind
Oh,
of throw people off. Because I was looking at that photo and I'm like, clearly the face is CGI. Are
Right.
they hiding somebody? Is that Lobo? Why would that be? So when the mask comes off in this, I'm happy that it wasn't like some crazy twist. We all
Right.
yeah.
knew it was going to be a clone of Superman. The question was just what version of it.
Which
But
version? Yep.
Yeah.
yeah,
Jonathan, did you say everything you wanted to about character?
That was all I had to add on that. So yeah, let's go
Okay.
ahead and get some scores in so we can get rolling here.
I'm a 4 on character.
Like Adam kind of said what I wanted to say, so I don't have to repeat what I said. So yeah.
I'm 4.
I think
Four.
I landed at 3.
What did I put?
Or
'Cause I
no.
don't remember.
Adam, you were 3, and
3.
Kevin, you were 3.
Okay.
Bump that up to a 4 for me.
Okay.
The more I think
Yep.
about it, because I was judging that purely based on character arc. I wasn't taking everything else into consideration.
Yep. Same.
All right.
Bump mine up to a 4.
Well,
So
then
for-
we are unanimous in 4s. We do have
Yeah.
one other person's score added in here that I'll tell us their results at the end.
Okay.
Okay, the music and sound design. This is one that I can't give it a full 5 for, even though it got me. The music hit right here many times, but the music was not original to this movie.
Yes, I agree with you. The only music that is memorable to me is when they brought in the John Williams score or the John
Yeah,
Murphy theme, which I'm very familiar with because of all the marketing.
Yep.
Other than that, I can't think of a single other moment of music in this movie.
I did notice early on, because I thought it was a unique choice and I really liked it, Lex had a jazz theme.
See, I didn't even notice.
Yeah, it
You
was
did?
kind of jazzy, little snare drum, some cymbal. It it almost felt like a 60s spy, like jazz riff that I was like, I do like that. It's very subtle.
Oh, excuse me.
It is very, very subtle. But that was the only part of new music that
Yeah.
stood out. What really stood out was the theme everybody knows from the Reeves films, just gut punching you at the right moments. It's one of the moments of the film that I thought felt a little cheap. Like,
I really,
is it fantastic?
John Murphy did
Yeah.
an amazing new theme, but he didn't. Nothing else like popped. And I mean, I'll happily listen to the soundtrack. I always like to listen to these soundtracks isolated and see like what does come out, but I haven't done that yet. And right now, it worked while I was watching it, but here we are 2-3 days later, and I don't remember anything.
Yeah.
I actually listened to part of the soundtrack,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I didn't even know any of those songs was in the movie.
Yeah.
Jonathan?
Because when I read the question, when you talk about music, I instantly thought about the theme. Like I like how he put the Superman theme in certain parts. I didn't even realize there was other music except the theme of the actual Superman theme. So that's why I had. That's why I had like a 5. 'Cause I was
surprising.
thinking about the theme. Yeah.
It's surprising that the music wasn't more of a pop because I feel like at least in the last 10 years, James Gunn has really garnered a reputation as being a man with a great ear. I mean, you look at the Guardians movies, there's not one bad track in there. You look at the Guardians theme, you look at Guardians Inferno, which was written for the second film with David Hasselhoff. These are all standouts.
Yeah.
But
hell, even with Peacemaker.
Peacemaker, incredible music.
Yep.
With this one, I mean, I really like the I don't even know the name of the group, but the punk rock song that plays at the end. Yeah, I mean, great song, but that's one. That's one
like
song.
the Mad Crab Joys.
But I think it was Iggy Pop, wasn't it?
Iggy Pop is featured on it, but it's yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I suck at names, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's an interesting point that James Gunn's kind of known for selecting music. And I wondered if that was an intentional choice for him to not make that part of this movie. You know,
I
he
could
didn't
definitely
want.
see that.
I saw in the interview that he was mainly focusing on the score for this one. He said that I think he said he wanted to do something different that he hasn't done. So like so many interviews out about the music is how he's known for the music. and he
Yep.
said he wants to do a different take, and this was like more score heavy for him because he wanted to do a different take on
It
for
definitely was.
because it's Superman. He didn't want to do like the Guardians with like the random
with all
songs
the
in it.
needle drops and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you. Yeah,
You don't
so
want to
he
draw too
wanted.
much attention away from the story and what's going
Yeah,
on
that's
with
exactly what
too
he was
memorable of
saying.
a music.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's what exactly what
and
he was saying. He said
and I can respect
he
that.
wanted, yeah, he wanted to be more score heavy and not just random music popping everywhere.
In that
And I
case,
think he did a really good, like a smart job at hiring John
Yeah,
Murphy to do it. I
yep.
just don't think John Murphy's no Hans Zimmer. I mean, I still listen to the Man of Steel score on its own.
the
You
Yep.
flight
can
track.
put that
Agreed.
soundtrack on, and the hair on my arm stands up.
Heck
I didn't
yes.
I didn't
Agreed.
get that with John
So
Murphy's work
that's
here.
what I was going to bring back.
Agreed.
People love the original Superman theme because it's a great theme. I
It's
get
such a
that.
Oh yeah,
beautiful thing. Such
But
a beautiful
Man
thing.
of Steel avoided it and still had effective, and some think that flight is one of the best Superman tracks ever. So
yeah.
Man of
What is
Steel
it? I think that track is called First Flight.
First Flight, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is an incredible, like, goosebump inducing track. There is nothing original on this movie that does that.
Mm-mm.
For me, the music just did what it was supposed to. It all blended very well and seamlessly as a kind of an accent note to everything that I'm seeing. So
Mm-hmm.
I can't really say much about it. It's great hearing those kind of like those classic themes that we're aware of, that we love.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the rest of it, man, I'm just like, I'm hyped up on what's going on, and all the rest of sound effects and everything that's going on, that's just it's just an enhancer. So
It was
I
a
can't really say much
wallpaper
otherwise
score.
than that. Yeah.
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 The sound production on the rest of the movie was excellent. Everything
Oh,
sounded
yeah.
really cool. That little river of whatever they were in the Pocket universe.
The proto
that-
Was it like antimatter or something?
Yeah, but it was like little cubes, and it even sounded like something out of the Lego movie a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
that was
It did.
unique and
It did.
different.
Yeah,
So
it did.
there was a lot brought to it. I think the sound design itself for the film was good. I even like some of the really aggressive wind sounds of his flight. Those worked
his
well.
flying looked fantastic.
Dude,
Yeah.
that was awesome.
Even the cross-eyed scene lasted 0.2 seconds. It wasn't.
I never had a problem with that.
No,
it
people
would be very
nitpick 'em.
hypocritical of me to criticize somebody who's cross-eyed. When I was a kid, this eye was always looking over there. So
I love Columbo,
be
and he had a
cross-eyed,
glass
Superman.
eye.
It's
So.
okay.
Yeah, so when it comes to music and sound design, I actually had to dock this one because the best moments of it weren't original. So that they were redone versions of another theme. So music and sound design, I gave it a 4.
I'm at a 3.
I think I said 3 as well.
You did.
I think I said a 5 on mine because I was
You did.
because I was thinking about the score. I wasn't even thinking about music wise. So put mine at like a 3. Now talking
Okay.
about it, yeah. Dock mine
If
down
you really
a
want
3.
to, I mean, if you like feel how you feel about it and you feel it's a 5, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
No, it's a 5 score wise. That's what I'm saying. It's a 5 score wise for me. But the music, as
okay.
like, yeah. So that's like, yeah. So put my it's a 3.
I'll put you at a 4. I'm going to average you out.
Okay,
4.
okay, that works too. That works.
That's
too.
what we do with the average.
Yeah, put me a 4. Put me a 4 then. But,
Okay.
Yeah.
So then we have.
Hey, he got his own crypto. I'm sorry.
He's better.
Oh,
He's
it's
a
a cat. That was a dog.
He's-
Darn it. So close. Okay.
Editing and special effects. This is one that I don't need to spend a whole lot of time on. I thought it was some of the better special effects that we've seen recently.
Man, yes.
There were 1 or 2 scenes where I was like, there's the green screen. But other than that, I thought it was done really well.
It wasn't bad as the Flash. So.
Dude,
not many things are as bad
Yeah.
as Flash.
Flash is one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
That was a horrible movie. Oh my God.
We covered that one a while ago too. I was really looking
Oh,
forward to
no.
that movie, and I hated it because I loved the Flash,
hated
and I hated that film.
it.
Dude, the way they edited that scene for Mr. Terrific's fight on the beach there, where they're at the portal, The way
Yes.
they edited that all around while Lois is in like the protection or shield,
Yeah.
and he's out there doing his thing, dude. Man, the way they edited that and the special effects with his T
I
circles,
And I
his
actually
big
saw
old T
and
I
balls beating the shit out
missed
of
that
people.
scene.
I saw
Man,
some
Oh,
behind
oh
I saw
no.
some behind the I saw some behind the scenes of how they did that scene too.
yeah,
Oh
I
Like
really?
I
had
saw
to.
like he was literally on a wire, swinging around her while fighting the guys
Oh
with his
wow.
with his balls.
the
It
perspective
was
and the way they
Dude,
shot and edited
dude.
that whole fight scene,
yeah,
though, I
that
thought was
was
just like, holy shit, this is
beautiful. Oh
awesome.
my god, that was
Is that your
beautiful.
I
bathroom break,
made
Adam?
the mistake. I had to go to the restroom, and when they landed on the beach,
No.
I thought, okay, it's just going to be a quick
Oh
scene. They're just going to be talking. Nothing's going to
no.
happen. I'm going to run real quick.
Same
And when I
as
came
bro.
back, they were walking through the portal. So I'm like, I didn't miss anything.
I'm like, you should have stayed
Bullshit.
for a good 5 minutes. You would have had a
Oh,
blast at that scene, dude.
There
yeah,
Oh
were
my
bro.
a
god.
couple. So I've noticed James has kind of stepped up his camera work in his
He
scenes
did.
like
He
that,
did.
where it doesn't
Yeah.
cut and it just rotates around. This
Mhm.
didn't have a lot was made about his Guardians 3 hallway fight.
Yeah.
Some people
Yeah.
love it, some people hate it.
Wait,
It was
hallway fight.
stylish.
Did he change cinematographers between Guardians movies?
I
Because Guardians
Mm,
3 looked noticeably different than the first two.
I think he
yeah.
And
did.
it had a similar color palette to the Suicide Squad, and then I think he carried the same cinematographer into this. So I think
Yeah, I
once
think
he
he
hit DC, he
did.
met somebody new.
Well,
He
and
did.
that would make
He
sense
did.
because the Suicide Squad also had that great Harley Quinn hallway fight scene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Another great. This one had a couple fight scenes that were longer takes like that, but none of them were quite as memorable. And I'm actually okay with that. I'm actually fine
yeah.
with it.
I
Me
mean, they
too.
worked. I think doing those long takes works better with Superman because
Mhm.
of his flight and his speed
Yeah.
ability. I think you can really, really sell the speed when you have solid VFX and you
Mhm.
bring out like a long take, like when he was fighting the kaiju, and we got
Mhm.
to see
Mhm.
him like moving around, and we went over to Hawk Girl flying. The
Mhm.
aerial effects with those long takes,
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
really excelled even more than
Yeah.
the hallway fight in Guardians or the Harley Quinn, which I think they worked really well in there, but
Yeah.
better here.
I noticed
Yeah.
there was some, I think it was clever editing. I don't think it was a single take. But when Lex is interrogating the guy with the gun to his head, which that whole storyline, that character's storyline
Mhm.
is great in this film.
So short, so effective.
Yes. From
Well,
helping Superman, like you
oh
helped
yeah.
me, let me help you, blah, 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 to Lex
Mhm.
interrogating him. But in that scene, the camera appears to not cut. It's cleverly edited where it goes to the Baravian guy and then
Hmm.
back to
Mhm.
Lex, back to Superman, back to Lex,
Mhm.
and it appears to not cut. And that was another one of the clever edited scenes of this. But I think he's tight. James Gunn is tight when it comes to this kind of production. He's
Mhm.
Hmm.
kind of music video ish in his production. It is timed almost musically to a beat of the
Which
story.
is ironic because that was Zack Snyder. Is that Snyder's very music video, very visual esque. It's funny when you
Mhm.
put them on paper, Gunn and Snyder are the same kind of filmmaker.
They
One of them
are.
just prefers the gritty and the other prefers the
Color.
lighthearted fun. But when you compare their style, their structure, and their interest, they're the same. They are so similar.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I would agree. There were even some of the climactic fight in this. I was like, this is pretty dark and gritty, but the rest of the movie was so
But
bright
the
and
sun was
optimistic.
out, so it's okay.
Yes, it wasn't clouded by dust. But okay,
Until it
editing,
was, but then the dust went away.
the editing and special effects. I was a where was it? I was a 4,
Where was I?
I hit a 5 on it.
5.
Yeah,
Nice.
I really like the way this was edited, along with the special effects.
All right.
I think I said
particular scene?
4 just because they're, for the most part, I would say for 85% of the movie, the VFX were really, really good, but there were the occasional like rubbery green screen things. I was surprised at how like tangible the kaiju was. Like you could really, it looked like you could touch him. But then there were some other like city effects. Some of the flying effects were like, you don't look real, you look stylized, and that just drops it from a 5 to a 4. But it was really, really well done.
I thought about it. The thing I did like was his interpretation of the Green Lantern ring, where typically it's been shown as a light, and this looked almost solid.
Almost like candy glass.
Yes. Did anybody else see that?
Well, that's what it's supposed to be. That's how they usually look in most
that.
iterations. When you see a Green Lantern ring, it's like a physical, actual object. That is.
I'm meaning the whatever they conjure.
His constructs.
Constructs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The constructs I like better than this than I did in like the Hal Jordan or the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern.
So,
I like this version of it. The constructs
in the Ryan Reynolds one, I like the way it looked, but that really focused a lot on these are light constructs, whereas this one, it looked almost like the constructs were affected by the light around them. You could see shimmer, you could see shadows, you could see texture to it, almost like these constructs are being physically constructed out of matter being pulled from thin air, versus the Ryan Reynolds interpretation, which is it comes straight from the ring. Every single time, it's an energy and a light emission. I think they're both excellent, but this one looked to me more comic booky. Yeah, exactly. It looked like I could touch it, and it looked like it tasted really good.
Green apple candy, baby. It's some Jolly Ranchers.
Yeah.
Although, man, I gotta say, with Guy Gardner, though, like on the battlefield in Baravia and Jihadinpur, and those spinning fingers that come up out of the ground.
I love this.
Oh my God.
It's so
that
good.
Was so awesome. That's definitely Guy Gardner shit right there.
Oh,
Guy Gardner's such an asshole, dude. He was so perfect.
Dude, when I first saw
I remember they joked about the haircut, too.
That's what I was going to say. When I first saw a Guy Gardner, I was like, please, Seven, that's not his X-ray haircut. Then I saw the comic, I was like, oh, God.
There's been a few different haircuts that Guy Gardner's haircut have been, and they went with the worst fucking version of the haircut. Jesus.
It's the thing that I love about Guy Gardner's look in this movie, and I think Nathan Fillion played it so well, is Guy Gardner is the lamest guy on the playground, but he truly doesn't believe that. And anybody who shits on him is just like more fuel to be like, you're only hating because you hate me because you ain't me kind of deal. I was like, no, guy, you're a dick. You look like a dork. No one likes you. He's like, fuck you. It's okay. It's perfect.
Shocking with Nathan Fillion and his awesome acting.
I cannot wait for this Lantern show now. I don't know if Nathan Fillion's confirmed for the show, but we're getting Jon Stewart, perfect casting. Hal Jordan, perfect casting. You throw Guy Gardner in there, give me those three. Dude, I can't wait for them to just make fun of Guy to his face every episode, and Guy never believes
Are they going to include like Kyle and Jessica as Green Lanterns?
I don't know. I wondered that.
The only ones I think are confirmed are Hal and
it hasn't been confirmed yet.
I want Kyle Rayner. I was a Kyle.
I liked Kyle.
I was a Kyle fan. Also, he has a tragic story, so I would really love to see a Kyle where his girlfriend is murdered and shoved in his refrigerator because that's his origin story. That would be so good.
Have Zack Snyder direct that one episode.
Have him do that one episode. That's up his alley. So, editing and special effects, we're pretty much 4s. Jonathan was a 5. So
what did I put?
You were 4.
Okay.
The script, then touching on the script, not just the story itself, but how the story was told. I didn't have any major complaints with the script. I guess you could argue there. I didn't think it was as funny as James's normal movies, which I'm fine with. He wasn't going for overly comedic. I appreciated some of the humor, but most of it I didn't really laugh at. Like, I have a weird sense of humor. I thought the garage door taking forever to open was kind of funny.
That was awesome.
That was really good. I love it. You have a flying saucer, but you can't make the door open. And just as dead serious as Mr. Terrific could, just says, I haven't gotten to that yet.
Yeah. That one kind of thought was funny.
The one-liner was just, dude, that was hilarious. I was like,
Yeah.
was it?
I thought it was more.
I'm like, was this a blooper they just kept in the movie and just added that? Like, was
I
this
thought it
actually?
was
I believe it.
I thought it was more situational comedy. Like Jimmy
Okay.
Olsen, my favorite Jimmy Olsen on screen.
Oh
Fantastic.
yeah.
So good. He was
Oh,
excellent in Santa Clarita Diet too. He plays the same character, but he was hilarious in that. Um, so I thought it was situationally hilarious. It's not like laugh out loud jokes, but the fact that Jimmy, these gorgeous women are throwing themselves at Jimmy, and he's just like, I don't want any of this. She's like, we can spend the weekend together, and he's like, the whole weekend. Like,
It's so crazy to me when I see because I thought Jimmy Olsen was going to be a dork in this. I mean, he
I did
normally
too.
is.
I did too.
And then,
Yeah.
I mean, you cast, I can't remember the actor's name, but I mean, I saw him back on Disney as a kid. Like, I thought he was going to be like the dorky, funny Jimmy Olsen. This dude is a dog. He's got all these women throwing themselves at him, and he couldn't care less. Man, when Eve jumps on him at the end of the movie, I just sat back and I'm like, you motherfucker. If you don't lock this woman down, I'm going to beat you.
yeah,
I mean, she's an idiot, but, you know,
But she's a
Skylar
hot.
Dijon,
She's, she's a
She's
hot
crazy.
idiot, though.
she's sweet, too.
I
It's not
also
all
really
about
like.
her looks. Sometimes, you know,
Yeah.
she's nice.
I also
And
really
she's
like that.
really hot.
You think she's dumb, like just a
But she really ain't
self-obsessed
that dumb.
social
She's
media.
not. She
Yeah,
was so. That was. I'll be
I
honest
thought
with
that
you.
was clever.
I didn't see that coming, and that is one of my favorite,
Yeah.
not only story reveals, but character reveals. Throughout the whole movie, she's taking these pictures and selfies and everything, and at the end, you realize this woman's been getting dirt on Lex for
This entire
who
Yeah.
knows how long.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God!
Yeah.
How does James
Yeah.
Gunn do
Part of
this
that arc,
every
man,
single
comes
time?
back.
Yeah, I thought that was so
Every-
good.
Right.
Oh my God! James
There-
Gunn is so fucking talented, dude.
That was an excellent character moment because you're just thinking she's social media obsessed girlfriend. She's there for the fame. She's like
She's
filming
just eye
everything.
candy for the audience.
Yes, but nope. She's filming everything needed to blackmail Lex while dating him because he's an
It's-
abusive turd.
And
Eh.
also the other thing when Lex got her from the room, he said, "You sending sexy pictures." He didn't even pay attention himself. To be the smartest person, your dumbass to look at the pictures, then realize she got dirt on your stupid
Because he
selves.
didn't care. It's because he didn't think she was smart enough to do that. It never
Yeah.
crossed his mind that she would be clever enough to do this. Because
that
to
was fun.
him, Eve is just a piece of ass. He
Yeah,
didn't give
she's
her
eye candy.
any regard.
Mhm.
Screwed by
Dude.
his own ego.
Oh my God.
There's
I-
as much character written in that exchange about Lex as there is about her. How
Yes.
Lex
Yes.
views other people
Yes.
and how intelligent she actually was. Even she's throwing herself at Jimmy and it's still kind of comical, but she was smarter than she came across.
She
Don't
knew what she had there.
underestimate.
She
Don't
knew it.
underestimate.
I should not have doubted James Gunn, the man who made an opening title sequence so addictive as Peacemaker. I should have put my faith in him that he was going to do something.
Yeah.
I can't believe how much doubt I had in this movie and how amazing it turned out to be.
I was doubting it hard because each trailer, and we'll argue this later, I'm sure. Superman is supposed to inspire hope, and each new trailer, like, I felt optimistic just viewing it.
Mhm.
It concerned me. I was still concerned about things that I saw in there, but I was like, this movie looks hopeful. That gives me hope.
Mhm.
And because of that, I was very worried that the movie was going to suck. I was like, it's going to drop the ball. But we're on the script, getting sidetracked on the script.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
for script,
sorry.
I can sum it up in 3 words: messy but functional. It's a very messy story, but messy doesn't always mean bad. We typically hear that and we're like, oh, it's going to be unfocused, it's going to be jumbled. And it's not unfocused. It is one of those and then scripts. It's this happens, and then this happens, and then this happens, and then this happens. And throughout, there are little nuggets of therefore and because. But for the most part, this is a and then story, which I think to a professional scriptwriter is probably going to be, absolutely nightmarish. But to a general audience, I don't think that's going to be a problem. And for me, as somebody who is typically extra critical of movies, it worked. It was messy, but functional.
Yeah.
Yeah, same with me. I said bloated, but this was the type of bloated that it actually worked.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what Adam said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The concern about juggling all of the things that we saw in trailers was valid. Yeah. I can still see why some people are going to say it is too bloated with too much going on, but it's like we said back in the story, it's the script is focused on what you need to enjoy this 2 hours of film. You don't need to watch 3 other Superman movies to get to where we are to appreciate this. Everybody knows who Superman is. Here's a new adventure with him. Done.
Exactly.
And I'm cool with that.
Even the things that you don't know. I think that a really great way to look at this is not a movie that requires a whole bunch of setup. And I mean, look at Metamorpho, for example. I don't know what Metamorpho is. I'm not familiar with that character. I don't think 99% of the people are.
I've never cared for him in the comic books either.
I thought he was
doesn't matter because James Gunn didn't build Metamorpho up. This isn't a story about, let me introduce everybody. No. He introduces things when they're relevant.
Yeah.
We need this here. Oh, where did that come from? Doesn't matter because it's working here right now. And if you like it, you can get more later. It's a here's a taste. Do you like it? Yep. Good. I didn't need to build up the souffle for 3 hours for you to enjoy that it tastes really good.
Yes. It's one of those comic book things that I was bringing up in the story where it's kind of structured like you said, and then script where we would have gotten an issue that was Superman versus Metamorpho, and it would have been about Superman going into that cage and the kryptonite hand, and then the next issue would have been about, hey, we should work together and defeat this situation. And it's part of that ongoing moment of this character is relevant to this part of the story. They're going to get through it. He might be back later, but you don't need to know much more than what you're given. And to his credit, I've never cared for Metamorpho in the comics. I cared about Metamorpho in this movie. I was worried.
Wow, really?
A big part of that, I think, is something that people are going to overlook, is the voice. He sounded like a normal person. He wasn't. He looks like a monster. He could easily be a monster. But James Gunn was very clever. Again, I can't remember the actor's name, but I've seen him in several other things.
I'll get it.
Yeah, well, James Gunn has worked with him before. He's a really great actor. But, I think Gunn knew that when you're going to cover somebody in this much makeup and you're going to give them these crazy, visually unappealing powers, it's important to maintain. What is it?
Anthony what?
Kerrigan.
Anthony Kerrigan, that's it. Yeah, it's important to maintain a sense of humanity, and you can do that with the eyes and with the voice. I was actually just watching the 2015 Fantastic Four movie the other day, and Jamie Bell, he's a fantastic actor, but there's so much lost in that performance because of the voice. They changed it. Gunn knew Kerrigan has a really good voice. He's got really good eyes. Let's make sure we see his eyes. Let's make sure we hear his voice. And instantly, I get that he's a loving father. I get that he's a victim. I get that he has been abused and used against his will. All of that just from him simply saying the lines, "Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me."
And it was great. It cracked me up. It was one of the moments that I thought was hilarious was when Metamorpho has basically dissolved his entire body and is a little tentacle dude next to Superman. And he calls Superman like a freaky, weird alien or whatever. You are literally an octopus with a human head right now. And I thought that was one of the moments that really
worked. His little troll doll baby who, again, in the marketing, and we're gonna get to the cultural thing in the marketing in just a moment. But I mean, just to touch on that real quick, again, the marketing made this look so much worse. I don't want to see Superman with some dumb little baby. Who, by the way, I thought that was a young Metamorpho. I thought Metamorpho was going to be the main villain of the movie. So color me surprised when he wasn't.
Me too.
I thought that little baby was like Clark was like going to go through a wormhole and see Metamorpho as a baby. I didn't realize it was Metamorpho's son.
I thought that baby was going to be a young Brainiac, and then I was very concerned for him.
I thought Metamorpho was Brainiac. I thought they were the same guy.
I did too.
Brainiac is another alien with an 11th century. It's insane. But he balances the script, like we've said. He makes us care about small characters in their moments without telling us a heck of a lot about who they are. We don't need to know much, but he tells us just enough to care about this situation. One of the things I was concerned about going into the film was Crypto, because Crypto was a major part of marketing. I have never cared about Crypto in the comic books. Even I love the idea of Superman having a dog. I don't find dog storylines all that compelling. Okay, it's not a super compelling story.
So you can't really do too much with a dog storyline.
Well, I love dogs. I'm a dog person. I've got my 2 dogs. And so when they took Crypto and Superman busts in the office and is, "Where's my dog?" I was like, I feel that. I feel that. But
John Wick on his ass.
I was worried Crypto would become too much of the focus of the film. And I thought James walked that line very well. The Crypto was actually how I got my wife to see this movie. She doesn't like superhero movies. She really didn't like the Snyder films. But she loves dogs. And so I was like, go see it for Crypto. And she walked out, and she said this is her favorite superhero movie that she's ever seen.
Wow.
And I do think a part of that is because it was smart on the marketing for people like my wife to give them Crypto to latch onto and care about. For Superman superheroes, not always, but tend to be a pretty male dominated field. So that gives her access to this. And now she understands a little bit of that relationship, especially because they didn't make Crypto a well-behaved dog. And so that gives you more, like, there were times in this movie I'm like, yeah, that's our dog. But the moment when the dog was laying on his chest when he's healing, I'm like,
that was sweet.
I was like, our dog does that when my wife doesn't feel good. It'll lay right next to her. And that's just little moments of Crypto that work without him overpowering the story. Yeah, and so I thought he balanced that really well.
Like from that scene, when I was in the theater from that scene, I was like, I think I'm going to have a dog best friend someday.
I also appreciated that it was Supergirls. I did.
Oh yeah, that totally.
I'm happy that it's Girl's dog because that means he won't be in the next movie. See, I did not hate Crypto at all, but I don't need him in this movie. I'm not a Crypto fan. My only true experience with Crypto is when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. I don't remember what channel it was on, but there was a Crypto the Super Dog cartoon, and I watched that, but I was real young at the time. And even then, I didn't love it because I think, and comic book people can say whatever they want, giving an animal superpowers is the dumbest fucking thing you can do. I don't give a shit. Is the dog cute? He looked like CGI, so I didn't think he was cute because he looked fake throughout the whole movie. His personality was CGI though, but I mean, yeah, but he looked CGI. Right. Like, you can make him not look like it. I like dogs over there. I like your dog over there, and I'll pet him, and then I want you to take him home and get him away from me. I've had dogs, and I loved them when they were sitting down and they were quiet. This Crypto pissed me off because I knew there wasn't a damn thing I could do to shut him up because he could kill me, and I didn't like that. When he destroyed the Fortress of Solitude, all I could think about is all my stuff and how fucking
Yep.
angry I would be. And that little cape, it's cute, but it would fall off. I can't keep anything on my pets. Crypto, he was fine for one movie. I'm good. Unfortunately, it sounds like he's going to be very important in the Supergirl movie, who I have comments on, and we'll get to her later.
But I just got to ask you one question, right quick.
Yeah.
Did you at least like the part where Crypto tear the hell out of Lex Luthor?
I did.
It was cute. Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing with Crypto. There was nothing in this movie. Like, he worked. Yeah, like he worked in the movie. I'm not saying that he should have been removed from the story, but I'm good. I've gotten my fill. I don't need more.
Got you.
Yes, I do think. I saw some people being like, "Oh, I love Crypto. Now bring in Ace for Batman." And I'm like, I don't need Ace to be in the Batman movie.
Not necessary.
Don't, because Batman doesn't have superpowers. He doesn't have a dog from his planet that would have similar superpowers. This doesn't serve anything. You can have a dog in the cave, sure, that's not going to bother me, but it shouldn't be part of the story. The
only way that I would want to see Ace is if you want to put in the Batman 2, have a scene where someone's like trying to break in to Wayne Manor, and there's a guard dog, and on the doghouse it says Ace. Give me an Easter egg, sure.
That's all we need.
Fucking dare
like Batman
dress
Beyond
a dog up like Batman. Don't do it.
Do it the Batman Beyond. That Ace was better. I don't need Ace in that. I mean, I got my wife to watch the Super Pets movie. That's fun, but that's a kid thing.
You couldn't pay me to watch that.
I don't need it in mainline continuity stuff. But I thought he balanced Crypto really well. It didn't overpower the story at all. The focus was on Superman. I never felt like the movie was preachy. I did think a little bit of the delivery of Superman at the end was good. It wasn't quite, I don't know. It got me, but I still think there could have been a little bit more. I don't know. I feel like I'm nitpicking, but it just didn't hit me as like, wow, that was amazing. I was like, that was good. So,
you talking about his speech to Lex at the end?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think it's also a reflection of the character himself is like, dude, I'm just human. I wake up every day like you, put one foot in front of the other and try to do the best that I can.
He's innocent, naive, and his speech sounded like, dude, why are you hating me? Like, what did I do to deserve this?
Yes.
There's not a lot of meat to it, but in all fairness, there's not a lot of meat to why Lex hates him. It's simple.
Envy.
I hate
laid out
you
with the envy thing.
because I think I'm better, and you're constantly proving to me that you're better, and fuck you for that.
Yeah.
It's like, stop showing me how weak I am.
Yeah. And I think that's where some of I don't want to necessarily say it's an issue. It's an early film. It's early in Superman's career, but it's definitely something that I felt watching the movie was that it seemed underbaked just a little bit, but it also fit the story. If we would have suddenly gotten a very vocal and poetic Superman speech about his humanity, it wouldn't have fit with what we saw about Superman leading into it.
Superman,
it wouldn't have been deserved with this particular story.
Yes.
Yeah, in this story right now, Superman is underbaked because, like you said, he's young now.
Yeah.
So it made sense for this right now that it was underbaked. Yeah. So
I noticed something at the beginning, and I was wondering, did you guys notice this, or do you have any opinions on it? But did you notice that almost every time frame in this film is a 3?
yeah.
3 centuries ago, metahumans
Yeah.
started.
I've
300
noticed that
years
too.
ago, 3 months ago, 3 days ago, 3
days
hours
ago.
ago.
3
The
minutes
only
ago.
time frame that wasn't a 3 was Clark and Lois dating, which was a 4. Other than that, everything was a 3. I thought that was interesting.
Huh.
I'm saying,
I don't know if that
that.
means anything.
I
think
know
that really
that-
leads to the direction part of it, and like kind of harkening back to what you get in a comic book story. When you open that first page, you get those lines of lead in of what's going on currently in the story. And I think that's what they were kind of going for with, 3 centuries ago, 3 decades ago, 3 years ago, 3 months ago, 3 hours ago, 3 minutes ago, he just got his ass handed to him, and here's where we are.
And
Yeah.
I don't know, like you're saying, I don't know what the significance of choosing the 3 is. I know in it's interesting because I know in Man of Steel it was more of Zack leaning into the Christ-like elements of Superman, even with
Yeah,
the like hands spread out on the cross type stuff that
Little
Zack
triptych action.
used to did. Yes,
yeah.
but James didn't really
Wow.
do that, so that's why I was curious about the 3
It's
and the
I noticed that in the opening because the opening like text that we get I thought was excellent. It immediately set the tone,
Yep.
and I went from the movie starting and I'm like I don't know if I'm gonna like this, and then by the time the text is done I'm like okay I get what you're doing. I'm on board. But when I noticed all the threes, I'm like I know three biblically is a significant number,
yeah,
but Zach did the Jesus movie. And as I
yeah,
did a little bit more research on like Superman's actual history and the two guys who created him, Superman was never meant to be a Jesus allegory. He was kind of meant to be more of a Moses allegory. And I don't think Moses has anything to do with like the threes.
no.
Maybe it was just purely he just wanted to use the same number over and over. And Superman's roughly 30 years old, therefore 3, and then he filled in the rest.
That's kind of
it.
how I took it. That's kind of how I took it on this one. It just worked conveniently. It was a nice little, instead of like 2 centuries ago, 30 minutes ago. So and he stuck with 3.
Yeah, just to make it more memorable, I guess, because I was waiting throughout the rest of the movie for more like religious symbolism to show up, and it just wasn't there, which I was happy about because I got plenty of that. I don't mind making Superman like a Jesus allegory if the story calls for it, and I think Zach did it as well as it could be done.
Yeah.
So I didn't need more of it, but I was constantly waiting, and it wasn't there. So
yeah,
I don't know.
So more thoughts on the script? We ready for score it?
Score it.
Oh yeah.
That was a 4.
You're gonna have to remind me what my number is. I cannot remember this one.
Just forward on it.
Sorry.
You were okay. You're saying it's a 4, Kevin?
No, I was asking what score.
You guys, you both scored at 3s.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah,
4.
I guess.
Okay.
Like I said,
4.
Messy but functional, so I would put it, right there towards the middle.
That works. So the acting on this, he's already online. We have to compare Superman actors for some reason. We can't just be happy with Superman actors. I don't see people I don't see this kind of comparison for James Bond. I don't. I see people have their favorite James Bond, but I don't see like Daniel Craig was definitely better than why can't I think of his name right now? Sean Connery. Like I don't see people doing that. But
Roger Moore was the best. Just saying.
But there's the Snyder Bros who think
I'm not truly a fan of James Bond, but
there's the Snyder Bros who think nobody will ever top Cavill, and the people who are like Christopher Reeve is my Superman. I'm like, cool, he can be. You can still enjoy this movie. I don't know why that's gonna stop you from. So. Yeah, I thought he did very. So one of the things in comic book is Superman is teased about being the Boy Scout. He is the Boy Scout. And I thought this movie nailed the Superman.
He was a Boy Scout. He was definitely
it's the best version of it. It's so I keep wanting to jump the gun to talk about like the marketing and all that, but this shouldn't work.
You're close.
This shouldn't work. Close. Superman shouldn't be good. When you have a Superman this Boy Scout, this good, this kind, this hopeful, this optimistic, he should be a boring little bitch, but he wasn't. Yeah. And I think a lot of that comes down to Gunn's expert directing. It comes down to David Cornsweet really understanding the assignment.
Yes.
I still think, I think it's appropriate to compare performances in a healthy discussion, but if it's one of those things where it's like no one will ever be better, therefore you should never do it again, get the fuck out of here with that.
Yeah.
I think Cavill is, in my opinion, as perfect casting as Robert Downey Jr. is to Iron Man or Hugh Jackman is to Wolverine. Nobody, I think, is going to be more born for the role. But when you're talking about somebody who is donning the costume and giving a performance, I was absolutely blown away with what Corn Sweat did in this.
Yeah,
I was really skeptical about it because
Agreed.
when they started out, like I thought it was at first I thought it was kind of corny how he's got that really innocent but like boyish talk, like the gee
Mhm.
gollies and things like that. So it
I
kind of
ended
put me
up
off at
loving that by the
first.
end.
But then I had to take into consideration that was kind of how like the original Superman was. That was kind of the part of the talk of being that good Boy Scout, that good
Yes.
person, and how that kind of harkens back to the original comics when it comes to that
Mhm.
dialogue. So I kind of gave us a little bit of forgiveness on that, and I was like, okay. And then it grew on me throughout
Yeah.
the film.
Especially after you meet his parents.
Yeah,
This is the most different Jonathan and Martha that I've ever seen. And I was taken back a little bit because I'm like, I don't know if I like them, but then I realized it's because they're not hot. You know,
Yeah.
we were coming off of, Zack Snyder's Jonathan and Martha, and it's like Kevin Costner is like, okay, I get it. I mean, he's Kevin Costner, and then you have was it Diane Lane, who
Yes. Yep.
I think is as attractive today as she has ever been. That woman is aging better. I think we should start saying the wine ages like Diane Lane. And I'm looking at these guys, and I'm like, well,
She aging
they're not
backwards.
hot. And then I listen to them, and I'm like, oh, it's because you're mom and dad.
Yes.
That's why.
That is one of the things I appreciated about it is they felt like normal people as his parents. And like Jonathan was saying, that talk, I instantly was like, that's what a Boy Scout from Kansas would say.
yeah.
Yes.
Instantly, that's how a Boy Scout from Kansas talks. And
this guy would say, "What the hey, dude," and he would say, "Oh, geez," and he would talk to Mr. Terrific, and he would talk about it as like, "Oh, the crack in the wall is not perfect," and Terrific would get mad, and this is the guy that would be like, "Man, I can be such a jerk."
I'm
sometimes.
such a jerk sometimes.
I
Yes.
laughed so hard at that at the end, dude.
It's like, I just want to give you a hug. You're just a sweet man.
Yes, and I saw people online about Superman being lame for saving the squirrel, and I was like, that is
that was amazing.
Yeah,
Dude,
it is such an adorable little.
It was, but I could have done without it. I thought that was kind of needless for the story.
No.
Like the whole-
Don't you cut it. When I buy this movie on 4K, I'm watching him save that squirrel on repeat. Okay, I've done my edits of Reed Richards stretching. I'm going to do my edits of Superman just being a pal.
I went to order the Steelbook 4K and it's already sold out, so I'm waiting for it to come back up.
Oh god, I'm so happy! I locked in both that and the standard edition.
It inevitably will be back available before the release. So I told my wife, I'm like, I'm hitting that button as soon as it's available because I missed it the first time. So as soon as it's available, but I had to see the movie before I knew if I wanted to buy it. But those little things that they do, we're in the acting. Okay.
Got lost.
I forgot what
we're just talking about everything.
Snyder,
okay.
Snyder got so much flack, and reasonably so, for the end of Man of Steel, where thousands just died because it was power unchecked. And that was part of his story about a young Superman who doesn't realize his strength yet. That was part of Zack's story. That's fine. And this movie kind of learned from that. James took that under his wing while writing it for sure, and made the Superman worried about everybody around him. When that Leviathan thing, when that kaiju is in there, and he's like, I'm trying to figure out how to get it out of here so we can learn about it. That was such a like Saturday morning Superman to me. He wants to understand this thing. How did it get here? It's scared. It's not trying to hurt anybody. It doesn't look malicious. And then watching Mr. Terrific and Green Lantern kill it became heartbreaking all of a sudden. I was like, oh, I don't like that. But his desire to save everything was Zack's biggest weakness. Zack showed moments of Superman saving people from a fire or whatever, but it was not that Boy Scout who is here to protect.
It's because Zack is interested in showing gods among men, and James wanted to show us a man who could touch God. Right? He gave us that power.
Yeah.
And I think that's again, it just goes to show that Zach and James are cut from the same cloth. They're just two different sides.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I thought it was refreshing. I thought it was a nice take on Superman that makes David's a little different. And that's as much to James' writing and direction as it is to David. But David also delivered in the performance of being that kind and gentle Superman
Very
who
true.
could
Mhm.
also switch on the strength when
Yeah.
the scene
Oh, yeah.
demanded it. The scene that I laughed like out loud at, like that was awesome, was when they're fighting in the baseball field and he's kind of getting thrown around at first, but then he just grabs Ultraman and like triple spins him into the ground. Was that
Oh, yeah.
Ultraman or yeah?
He has the engineer like
It
was the
glued to
engineer
with the
attached
nanites,
to it.
and
I
he
love
spins
yeah.
and beats a motherfucker with a motherfucker.
Yes,
Boom,
I
right
was
there.
It
like-
reminded me of,
No.
of Kong using little baby Kong as a weapon. If you're like, look, you're gonna get in my way, fucking, I'm
Dude,
using you.
That scene
Yes.
reminded me of when Hulk was using Loki. And back
Oh
and forth.
yeah.
Yes.
I was like,
that-
James brought some Marvel into this movie. You remember Avengers when Hulk did that to Loki? Like, he did that on purpose. That was
so
funny.
I think David is the Clark Kent that Henry Cavill couldn't be, because
Yeah.
Cavill was never a dorky, nerdy, chill.
He was intense. He was intense.
chill Boy Scout. Henry Cavill was Superman. He took off the costume and he was still Superman. There was no convincing anybody. But
Yeah.
Facts.
I
That's
do think
facts.
Corn Sweat was an excellent. He delivered. I'm not disappointed at all. This was one that, like, so my mom raised me on these Christopher Reeves, the Batman the Animated Series. She raised me on Lord of the Rings and Star Wars, and like that was my mom.
Nice.
My dad was Columbo and detective stories. My mom was the sci-fi stuff. And she asked after this, she was like,
Hey,
is this a Superman movie I can see? Because Man of Steel wasn't my mom's Superman.
Yeah.
It was too dark. It was too intense, too heavy. And I walked out of this one and I was like, Mom, this is not a Superman movie you can see. It's a Superman movie you should see. Like, you should go back. If you love the Reeves movies, go give this one a
This
watch.
definitely falls in line with that
Yes.
in a big way.
Oh yeah. This is more akin to the Reeves movie than Superman Returns, which was literally a sequel to the Reeves movies.
Yes, it was.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it was. Brendan
Yeah,
Routh was
Superman
fine.
Returns is technically Superman 3.
Yep.
Oh.
Mhm.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. It erases the canon of 3 and Quest for Peace.
Yeah, which we can erase Quest for Peace. That's fine.
That's okay. Yeah.
So scoring, acting, comments on the acting. We've already said Rachel Brosnahan might be our favorite Lois Lane.
Oh yeah.
It's not even a mic. It's
Yeah.
definitely.
I can't hear.
Can't hear it.
Wait, can you hear now?
We can hear you.
I think that call interrupted his earbuds or something if he was using
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I lost audio, guys.
I'll message him real quick.
Tell him to reset his earbud Bluetooth
not-
connection.
Do you need to go out and come back in?
Nah, it'd probably take him a second. He's fixed it before while we've been
Yeah.
Okay.
on, so-
Go ahead. Chime in on your thoughts about the acting.
Rachel's my favorite of all time. We all know that. I mean, David was freaking phenomenal. I don't even know him as an actor like that, but he killed it.
Jimmy Olsen was.
Jimmy, yes, dude killed it out the park. He better freaking date that girl.
Skylar Gisondo. If I'm saying
Um,
that right. Skylar Gisondo played Jimmy. That dude did a great job. He did.
Skylar,
really
that's
did.
That's good, Jimmy.
the engineer. She was badass.
She was.
I love how she formed her weapons, and how I'm like, dude, that was freaking fantastic. And learning that most of that was practical. Most of that was actually practical. Of course, like the former was CGI a bit, obviously,
Yeah.
but her suit and everything was like
Her suit.
practical. I'm like, yeah, I saw
That
the
was
behind the
the-
scenes. I'm like, that is crazy. How they
That was
did
another thing that Superman suit was getting a lot of flack online. I liked that it was a practical suit the whole time. It wasn't super form fitted. I
Yeah.
would rather have that than the CGI suits constantly.
It looks like something like that's meant to be durable and something that's supposed to get beat up and run as a protective suit.
Exactly.
Versus some shimmery, shiny, thin thing that kind of like conforms to everything. With him, this is like this is a person wearing a suit like it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
Like,
I also
even the Fortress of Solitude was practical too. They literally went to Antarctica.
Yeah, and they filmed some of that in Norway too.
And I did not know about Norway. Good Lord.
Yeah,
Jesus.
that was awesome. Yeah,
I knew Antarctica. Damn, Norway?
I have a friend. Can you hear us now?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Are you good?
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I got a phone call and it just turned everything off.
That's what we thought. I thought so. Brosnan, Jimmy was fantastic. Some of the characters were a little bit too.
Harry White wasn't enough.
Guy Gardner, fantastic. Mr. Terrific. I have no complaints in the acting department, honestly. But I think this movie is mostly going to get the corn sweat comparisons to every other Superman that's ever existed. And that's, just be fair about it. I mean, he did a great job. I have no complaints about his performance in this film. He did a great job. Yeah. So acting for me, I'm surprised by that, but I don't think 5 is, I said they were fantastic. I have no complaints about any of the acting in this movie.
Oh my gosh.
I think we can hear you. You okay, Adam? Everything okay, Adam?
Yeah, just keep.
Okay. We'll moving right along.
You're okay.
Let me you guys keep going. I'm going to mute myself. I need to text this guy and tell him to stop calling me because it's the same guy over and over. I'll be right back.
Nicholas Hoult, though, is Lex Luthor, dude. Like, he really delivered on the dark, obsessive, envious, hateful nature of Lex Luthor. And I think, man, I want to say, to me, I think he's the best Lex Luthor so far.
I think he was so good. He was. I would need to go back and watch the old Supermans to know, because I don't remember them that well, to be honest. I saw them when I was a kid.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Christopher Reeve Superman. I've seen like bits and pieces, but I ain't seen fully.
Yeah.
But on my list, Jesse from B versus Batman vs Superman, he's like the lowest because I hated him.
He was the best ever. What are you talking about? Jesse Eisenberg.
Love him as an actor, but as Lex, it wasn't for me. Nicholas is definitely top of my list. The Smallville guy, man, top of my list.
Oh yeah. Michael Rosenbaum from Smallville.
Thank you. I suck at names.
He's so good.
I felt like Perry White was just there, but even his scenes was freaking hilarious. I'm like, that dude was like the chill boss that you need. He's chill, but he will structure you type of boss.
Or got the cigar in his mouth.
Yeah,
I love
but that dude's the most chill, respectful boss ever that you need.
I had to pick up a cigar after the movie, so
I don't even smoke, but he made me want to get a cigar just to feel like I'm Perry White for a split second.
I went and picked one up. I've been watching Columbo. I got the Kino Lorber 4K Columbo set, and I've been rewatching Columbo. He's always chomping on cigars, and then Perry White was. And I'm like, I'm gonna stop at the.
I was like, was that cigar a paid actor? Because the way he used that cigar was just freaking hilarious.
Yep. So acting for me, I said I was a 5. Where
I say a 5 for me.
I'm a 4 on the acting.
I believe I said 5.
I think I said 5, but
you did, Adam, and Kevin. You said 4.
I'm gonna put a 5.
Okay, so the direction. Then we've said a lot about James Gunn's direction already. How do we want to? We're getting close to the 2-hour mark. How do we want to concisely sum up James's direction? Let's go one at a time.
So for me, I'll just be brief because I'm never really good at this one. I will say, direction-wise, the way he shot those scenes where Superman's flying and the way the camera is like all over the place while he's flying, the sense of urgency and stress that it kind of puts into that scene, or any of those scenes where he's flying and he's trying to get somewhere real quick just to try to save somebody or whatever. I really liked how that worked out. The way he did that opening sequence with the 33333 to kind of establish the storyline was a great way to really open up. I also really like the part where when Superman comes over to the apartment and he's in his suit, Lois is just sitting there and she brings him the cocoa, and you've got the Justice Gang fighting this ethereal thing in the background of the city while they're having this serious discussion where he's just like, oh yeah, this is kind of whatever. But then using the brightness of the colors of that ethereal creature that they're fighting in the background to kind of give them the silhouette and kind of help enhance that scene and the tenderness and the connection that they're having, I thought was a really great way to go with that. So yeah, those are just a couple things I wanted to say about direction. Boosh.
Kevin?
Same thing with me. Out that beginning was with the threes. That was awesome. James was like, "This is the universe. This is where we at. Let's get to the point. I'm not gonna bore you and say his parents died. His planet, yada yada yada. We already know that. He's young and he's very naive. That's basically what you're saying. I love that. Same thing what Jonathan was saying about the flights. I love how I'm a big fan of cinematography because the way he motion captured, he even shows Superman's emotion in his flying. That's the other thing I really loved. Especially flying like the fire and whatever those robot things that he was shooting his lasers with.
Yeah.
Like in that scene by itself, how the hell did you do that in that circle so good?
Oh yeah, the flying attack first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, one part that caught me off guard, he punched the guy and his teeth showed. I'm like, oh my God, James.
I thought that was hilarious. He had kind of that slow motion for like a second, like less than a second.
Yeah, I was like, he's like, James, like 1 second, look comedy. Punch, he come out. Okay, let's get my seriousness. I was like, damn. I was like, that was freaking hilarious. I love Crypto in his scenes especially when Superman told Crypto get the toy, and how it pissed off Lex, and how Lex was getting like frustrated trying to defeat Superman in that dimensional portal thing.
Yeah, the pocket.
Thank you.
Pocket universe.
The pocket universe. But I also like how he calls it the pocket universe and not a multiverse. But that's like how he's
eventually.
So that was a nice Easter egg that he sent me.
I was listening to that. I think he strategically is not setting up a multiverse right now.
I hope not.
I loved how he's saying this is a dimensional pocket. There are other universes, but this is ours. We're not going to do a multiversal story.
Yeah.
But we are letting you know there are other universes in this dimensional pocket. And just the visual effects of everything was beautiful to me. So I think the direction was very beautiful with how he shot. And did he shoot IMAX cameras? Because it felt like he used IMAX cameras.
I think a lot of it was with IMAX.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was. I think it was top tier for me because I had a blast. I felt like I was on a roller coaster watching that movie in certain and the other thing, I really love how in certain parts he zoomed on the symbol when Superman's in the air, like represent hope. Because I'm like, everything's gonna be. I really even at the beginning when Superman was first flying, he put the symbol and showed the title. I've never seen that before. That was beautiful. How he transformed the symbol into the title sequence of the movie.
Yeah, that was nice.
So yeah.
Adam, your thoughts on the direction?
I mean, you guys have really said most of it already. I mean, I thought it was really well done. Gunn knows how to structure a scene. He knows where to put the camera. He knows how to convey emotion through whatever imagery he's putting there. He really knew how to utilize the special effects. When it comes to direction, I mean, it's as simple as Gunn knew what he was doing. Fortunately, he also wrote the movie and is the one ushering this entire universe, and only had to answer to himself financially speaking, being the studio head. Yeah. So Gunn understood the assignment that was given to him by himself.
My concern is Andy Muschietti is returning to do the Batman movie after he did the.
No, he's not.
You think he's going to back out?
100%. He's already backed out. They just haven't told us yet.
Oh, okay.
Zero
Yeah,
chance.
I don't,
Zero.
The
yeah, I
Flash
don't
was
think,
terrible.
yeah, yeah, no.
The Flash was terrible. I
He's too busy on it, Welcome to Derry right now. So
Get rid of Ezra.
Yeah.
Flash.
yeah.
nah.
I do think my biggest issue with James Gunn is that he just needs to keep his mouth shut and make movies. I saw as much about James Gunn. I probably saw more about James Gunn going into the Superman movie than I did about Superman.
Yeah.
It was almost more about James and his celebrity. And that's my biggest issue with James because he's made good movies. This is one of two movies that have come out that I would say are true comic book movies that embrace the kind of weird, wild sci-fi stuff of comics. The other one that truly embraced its comic book origins and put sharks with body armor and lasers on their head was the original Aquaman, the first Aquaman movie. And I think that one really embraced the wild Aquaman storylines. I love that movie. I love the first Aquaman. And I think this one is very much in that same vein of we're going to have a giant kaiju in the middle of New York that is in a news broadcast at one point was in a Dunkin' Donuts. It's just this wild weirdness of comic books brought to screen. And that is mostly missing from the Marvel Universe. The Marvel Universe is a little bit more grounded compared to what we just saw, which is weird because it was less grounded than Zack Snyder's. And then now it is more, there's just missing this kind of goofy nature to it. And I think James balanced that with a storyline that all ages can really enjoy. This is a movie you can show to kids. And this is a movie that will walk away. I saw somebody post, and to me, this is what it's all about. Somebody posted that they were at the Superman theater and there was like a 6-ish to 10, that's a big range, year old there. And every time Superman did something heroic, the kid like stood up and got excited and was pretending to fly as he left the theater. And to me, that's what it's about because we were all that kid one time. That's when we fell in love with Superman. And so the fact that James is able to do that in this film, balance it, set up a universe without being overly convoluted and clunky, he succeeded. I'm amazed that I gave him a 5, but I gave him a 5. Where were you guys?
I was
shit. I forgot what I put.
I'm at a 4. I'm at a 4 on direction on this one.
I think I said 5.
You did.
What did I say?
3. You said 3, Kevin.
This is actually one of the few times I give something other than a 3 on direction.
See, what happened was when I was thinking of direction, I was thinking script-wise. I wasn't thinking of. So
are you a 4?
Yeah, 4.
Okay. All right. So the it factor. So here we go. Adam, you have thoughts on the cultural significance, the marketing, all of that impact on the world. We'll let you go first.
Get it.
All right, let's get the popcorn. You've been waiting for this.
Okay, all right.
It's like, finally I can unleash the beast.
Going all the way back to the very first image of Superman that we got with him, putting on the boot with the big whatever purple thing going on in the background. Okay. From the moment we got that photo, I have been worried about this movie. I thought the costume looked bad. I thought the image was a very lackluster first look, going all the way to the teaser trailer, which focused heavily on the opening segment of this movie with an injured Superman. I thought this is a terrible way to introduce us to Superman because it doesn't have the context of all of the other appearances. Yes, we can discern that Superman is strong. We can assume that this Superman is difficult to beat. But as far as meeting this guy right here on screen for the first time, you're showing them him beaten, bloodied, weak, injured, relying on a cartoon dog. Yeah. When every single new trailer came out and it showed us the Justice Gang, it showed us the kaiju. It showed us all of these different wacky things. I thought this movie was bloated. I thought it looked like an unfocused mess. I couldn't figure out what the story was. Hell, we said it earlier. I thought the main villain of this movie was a guy who ended up being a hero. I had no idea what was happening with this movie. I thought the suit looked like shit. I hate the trunks. I didn't think the casting was great. I was all on board with Cornsweat giving it a shot, but none of the images or trailers that we got made it look like he was going to really excel. I didn't know much of anything about Rachel Brosnahan, so I didn't know how well she was going to do. I didn't think anything looked good. I thought every single piece of marketing has been absolutely horrific. And then I watch the movie and see that everything I was afraid of flew right out the window. Mm-hmm. And now, when you're talking about the cultural significance of this movie, I remember when we were talking about Thunderbolts way back in the day, and you asked me what I thought about the cultural significance of that, and I talked about how the impact of like mental health awareness in our generation is going to help make that movie stand the test of time. And I don't think we live in a particularly hopeful and positive era at the moment.
I would agree.
But what I have seen online over the last 72 hours has been nothing but joy and positivity. And people say, I remember I shared one earlier. There was the masculine urge to treat people with kindness. Yes. People are now making jokes about how it's good to be nice, but the jokes are not against the idea of being nice. There's a line in this movie that I remember a number of months ago had leaked where Superman says, maybe being kind is the new punk rock.
Yeah.
People made fun of it.
Yeah.
Now I'm seeing people say that with genuine sincerity, that maybe being kind is the new punk rock.
Yep.
The cultural impact of this movie has blown me away. Not only shifting the tides from the concern that I had going into it, because genuinely, if you had asked me 5 days ago, was I excited? I would have said the only thing that has me interested is James Gunn's excellent track record. Now I'm looking at it and I'm saying, this is my Superman. I feel great having a Superman again. And this is coming from somebody who loves BVS and Justice League and Henry Cavill, but the world didn't have a Superman. We had some Superman character in movies. Now we have a Superman that inspires hope, that inspires justice, that inspires kids to believe that a man can fly, and it's something that we haven't seen since 1978. Tens all across the board on this part. I loved it. And I love that I was wrong, that I didn't think I was going to love it.
Yeah. You nailed it. I don't have the only anything I would add to that because you covered it all. The social media stuff that I'm seeing right now brings a tear to my eye.
Yes.
But also the box office. This movie was not expected.
They're tearing the box office up.
Yeah, it was not expected to do much of anything, and it has already surpassed the expectations and is on track to match Man of Steel from over a decade ago.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on track to be the biggest. Yeah, it is on track to be the biggest Superman movie ever.
Yeah, because I think they had like expectations like 90, 100 million like the opening weekend.
It's
they just
already
got what 300 million now?
It's
close to it.
It's projecting to be over 130, and they were looking at like 90-ish.
Yeah.
So globally, it's already at like 220, 230. Something like that.
So the global one is like 200 million. Okay. I mean, I know something was 200 million something.
I mean, that's the only other thing that I have. I watch a guy who I don't recommend to people, but I love it just because it's mindless talk in the background. Basically, he's been saying July is going to be the month that decides if the superhero genre dies or lives. And he said it's going to come down to this movie right here, Superman and Fantastic Four.
Oh, yeah.
And he said this will decide the next 10 years of movie because it's been dying.
I know who you're talking about.
And is it going to affect the future? And he didn't love Superman, but it wasn't as bad as he thought it was going to be, basically.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
But it is it's proving that we're not tired of superheroes. We're tired of bad writing.
Yeah.
We're tired of bad writing.
Tired of bullshit.
Yes. And so it is. I think there is something about I made a post about this about 4th of July. We have gotten to a point in society where we kind of love our broken heroes. We love Deadpool. We love Wolverine. We love Batman. But what we have forgotten in all of that is we also love the pure and upright, faultless hero. And that's kind of what Superman was supposed to always be. He's
supposed to be the best of us.
The best of us. The best that there can be. And we have not had the best of us, honestly, since the last Captain America movie. Like, that Captain America is the best of us for the Marvel universe for me. I don't like Iron Man as a character. Tony Stark is great, whatever. I think he's selfish. But Captain America is the Marvel Superman in my eyes. We haven't had that faultless, like, this person is too good hero, because so many people have always said they're hard to relate to. James made him relatable. James made him relatable. Man. Somebody you can root for and somebody you can aspire to. So I have to, because of the box office projections. Do we have anything else to add to that, guys, for cultural significance?
Well, I just want to add my when you talk about relatable, that was one line that really hit me from Jonathan Kent, where he said, "A parent's not supposed to raise you to tell you what to do. We're supposed to raise you to was it to
with the tools?
For you to make your give you the tools so you can make a fool of yourself."
Yes,
like, shit.
That was so good. So you can make a fool of yourself.
I was like, "You son of a bitch!"
That was one of
the. I was like, "Oh
this
my
is a Jonathan
God.
Kent. This is a Jonathan Kent who has no idea how to be the father of a superhero. Yeah. This is probably, and I don't mean this in a bad way, especially comparing it to like Kevin Costner's. This is the least intelligent Jonathan Kent, and yet is the most equipped to just be a dad. He knew how to raise this boy. He doesn't know how to be the father of a superhero, but he knows how to be the father of a young boy who grew up.
So this was the first time, and I don't know if it's because of personal life right now or not, this was the first time that I watched a Superman movie going like, these are two people who tried to have a kid and couldn't. And this is their boy.
Oh, yeah.
This was the first time I felt that. Like, we forget that is part of their story, that they were never able to have kids, and Clark was their kid.
I like how you phrase that, because I don't think we've seen parents who didn't have a kid who then adopted Clark. I like how you phrased it. These two feel like someone who couldn't, wanted to, and then got lucky and found him.
Yes, that's how I felt.
Like, it wasn't just their son. He filled the void and gave them everything they wanted, but couldn't have otherwise.
When Jonathan's choking up talking about how proud he is,
I was done. I was done.
All right, so I'm a 5 on It Factor.
Yep, 5. Trying to change my score. 5.
Jonathan?
I didn't get a chance to say anything yet.
Yep, go for it, Jonathan.
With It Factor,
sorry about that, John.
It's all good. When it comes to It Factor and how culturally significant it is, to when you look at the history and the breadth of Superman since it started way back when, and how that character was portrayed, and then how it has evolved over the decades, versus also what we see in media and how things used to be light, more positive, and how it's gotten darker and grittier through each iteration that we see of all different types of superhero films and characters, and how they just get twisted and changed to fit whatever, however, anytime. The fact that this movie really makes a huge nod to the original tone of Superman and that positivity and that sense of hope. I love it. With the new Fantastic Four movie that's coming out, I'm still kind of on the fence about that one. But it feels like, from what I've seen, it's taking that same kind of stance and direction of returning to that sense of wholesomeness, togetherness, teamwork, some sense of tradition, of trying to hold on to something positive. I really feel like this movie, as a reboot, is really going to kick it up a notch and hopefully inspire other filmmakers with other franchises and other characters to bring back some more light into the superhero genre. And I think that's going to be super impactful. So because of that, I give it a 4.
Okay. All right.
I'm so ready to be in a theater for Fantastic Four with a head by saying it's conglomerate time. Bring it to that scene.
I can't wait for the Fantastic Four, man. Walking out of Superman just made me even more hopeful for that, because I know people are having a good time with this. They're going to show up to the box office for that.
Yes. Yes.
I am not gonna watch it until I see Adam's review. I am as excited for Fantastic Four as you were for Superman. So we will see. Overall,
I'll text you my review then too.
Okay. Let's close this out with our how entertained were you? I have your final scores here that I'll read out. How entertained were you out of 10?
9.
I said a 7, but I want to change it to a 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
After
talking about everything, I'm changing mine to a 9. Yeah.
I put it at an 8 because I think 8 is an excellent score for that. I don't like to be too hyperbolic. I wasn't as excited as I was. It's not my number one movie of the year,
Same.
It's pretty damn high up there. I think 8 is an excellent number without going too high, because I get more excited watching the Fantastic Four trailers than I did watching this movie.
I was determined. I was determined 9 or 10 is based on if I would turn around and watch it again. And I walked out looking at buying the next showings tickets. I was ready to turn around and watch it again and relive that experience. So for me, I'm going tomorrow night. So it's a 10 for me. I want to see this again. And that takes us final scores, your final thoughts. I will give you your final score, and then you can say any last things you want about it, since we had some changes and I did the math over here. So let's have Kevin. Your final score is 42, so it'd be 4 stars out of 5.
Yep.
Final thoughts?
Yeah. 4.
Okay.
Yeah. Keep it. You can keep it there. Yeah.
All right.
And let's pick it back up. It's not my over year top movie, but I still enjoyed it. So I have to put 4 out of 5.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay, Adam, your final score was also 42, so it'd round to a 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. That's an 8 out of 10. That's exactly what I gave it. Was an 8 out of 10.
My math works out every time.
Every time.
You had a great system. Did we ever become best friends now since we have the same score?
Your score's mad.
So I'm at a 41. I love this movie. If I get some people together to go watch it right now, I would totally do so. I'd be down to buy a ticket right now to go again with a group of people who I think would appreciate this, because hell yes, this movie was so much more than I thought it was going to be. It surprised me so much. And I super enjoyed the hell out of this movie, man.
Mm-hmm. So for me, I was a 45 out of 50. So I was 4.5 stars. And I do admit, I probably should have started the episode with this. I am a DC fan. I love DC. I have comic books I have comic books in my basement, and there's 10 shelves total. And of the 10 shelves, 6 of them are DC comics, 2 of them are Marvel, and 1 Star Wars and 1 independent. Like that, I am a DC fanboy. I love DC, and I love all forms of DC. I love Zack Snyder's DC. I love Christopher Reeve's DC. I love Tim Burton's DC. I love DC, and I love that these heroes exist with so many different interpretations of them that we can enjoy all of those different interpretations of them. I love that. But I think what I loved most about this movie, and Jonathan and I will read us out here in a second, was like Jonathan was saying, we've kind of had movies that reflect the society we live in for a long time. And Superman was meant to point us to where society could be. And that's what this movie felt like. It's not it did kind of reflect what's going on, but it pointed us at something better. And that's what I loved about it. So thank you both for being here. The average, I need to do that math, don't I? That's
we need our,
what's the average score?
The whole point of the show. We did have Chris, I don't know that last name. Sorry, Chris. Submitted his score as well. It was a 22 out of 50. I will add that in there. He said it was an average film. So I will add that in. We'll get it in the average and see where we end up. So divided by 5. We are still at a 38.6, which is a 4 out of 5 for the film, which I think is pretty accurate of the film. Pretty accurate of the film. So, Jonathan, you ready to read us out?
Let's get at it, hot dog.
All right. Before we wrap up, just want to give a huge thanks to our guests, Kevin and Adam. Thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. Kevin, tell the people where they can find your work, your content, and everything else you've got going on.
Kevin's got so much going on. It's insane.
Literally, find me on Instagram. I am Kevin Davis Official. Go to link in my bio. You'll find me everywhere. Facebook, I am Kevin Davis CEO. Find me, same thing. Go to link in my bio. You'll see everything. So,
Kevin's got a blue check mark. He's the real deal.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
You just have your magazine is that out? Coming out?
It's officially out. It's on my website at kevinceinternational.com. Again, on Instagram, I am Kevin Davis Official. Go to link in my bio. Everything's there. Explore, have fun. Send me a hey in a message in the mail or something. But yeah.
Right on. Yeah. And Adam, how about you? You want to lay down some stuff?
I'm not really working on anything too big at the moment, but I do have big plans. But no promises anywhere.
Fantastic, man.
But you can always find me over on Instagram at AdamTJGall or YouTube the same. I mostly live on Instagram at the moment. And stay tuned because at 2 p.m. Thursday, July 24th, I'm seeing Fantastic Four. I already got my ticket. I'm going big on that one. Well, that's that. Come, follow me on Instagram and hang out and listen to me ramble about nothing, really.
All right, and now as we close this out, let's talk about what makes Superman Superman.
He's super.
We live in a time that's pretty cynical. Superhero movies have become punchlines for some and eye rolls for others. There's burnout, there's fatigue, and some of that's earned.
But when you strip all of that away, beneath the box office drama, the online discourse, and the endless arguments about what went wrong, you find something simple and something timeless.
We all still want a hero.
And Superman has always been that hero. Not because he's stronger than the others, not because he can fly faster, punch harder, or shoot lasers from his eyes.
It's because he cares. He values life. He wakes up every day and chooses to use his powers not for himself, but to help the world become something better. That's his real strength.
He's been the example for nearly 100 years. He is our modern myth, our Hercules, our Gilgamesh. The story we keep coming back to because deep down, we still believe in good.
Even if the film's not perfect, even if the cape gets wrinkled and the story has flaws, this Superman gave us something to aspire to.
To try, to get back up when we fall, to do the right thing, even when it's hard.
And if you ask us, that's a superhero worth believing in.
Thanks for joining us. This is The Average, where the real review happens with your friends. Bye-bye. See you next time.
Boosh.